his home computer shows.
I've got tramadol. It doesn't do much.
Democratic lawmakers and journalists.
Fox's Jillian Turner at federal court in Greenbelt, Maryland. Christopher Hassan's public defender says he denies each and every charge categorically. The president's former advisor, Roger Stone, just apologizing to a federal judge for what he calls stupid lack of judgment after a social media post since removed that used a crosshairs symbol next to the judge's photo to imply he might not get a fair trial. Stone faces multiple counts stemming from the Russia probe. This is Fox News.
All right.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
Oh, okay.
News channel
Hmm?
on 95.3 FM, the 95.3
I just
MNC
kept saying
on
things
Alexa,
like his name
and
was Reggie.
95.3MNC.com.
What's going on? So I had to go to trends, and nothing was up, so I had to physically search Reggie on Twitter.
The Elkhart County Prosecutor's Office
From
says
Tyndale of
the young
America.
girl was initially believed
Dang.
to have died of natural causes related to bowel obstruction.
Where's Mayor Buttigieg? He's hiding.
That was the determination after an initial autopsy in June of last year. Subsequent toxicology testing shows her blood.
You don't want to be anywhere near this story right now.
Charges were filed earlier this month against Erica Reshti and Brandon Holmes of Cassopolis. They had brought the child and a younger sibling to the home where she gained access to the drug. Both face trial on May 6th.
That's 95.3 MNC's Darren Wright reporting. A man wanted in connection to several bank robberies in South Bend and one in Michigan has been arrested. Sean Fox is suspected of robbing the Flagstar branch on Western Avenue back in December and the Fifth Third branch on Main Street and the First Source branch on South Michigan Street.
Filters today. I'm making coffee off camera, by the way.
Police detectives on Wednesday. And the person killed
Not
earlier
ignoring
this
it.
week in a crash near New
No,
Year's.
I'm kind of ignoring
an
him.
18-year-old from Warsaw. Annalisa Calderon was behind the wheel of a car that went off the road, hit a guardrail, and then flipped. Police say Calderon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the vehicle. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
Weather sponsored by
The Prime Table Kids. We have the best kids menu with free ice cream.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialist, first warning forecast.
Plenty of sunshine today with temperatures warming up to 38 degrees. Still a little bit breezy at times. And then for tonight, we'll see a few clouds, low of 22. And the Friday, even nicer, mostly sunny skies, temperatures at 42. But then rainy conditions start to move in for your weekend. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center,
Now,
meteorologist
I have to go
Summer
add
Kennedy.
hot water.
Skies are overcast.
I don't know why
It's
it's spilled
37
out.
at the 95.3 MNC studios. I'm Sean Zimney, News Talk 95.3.
See, that's my concentrate right there. See how dark that is?
Construction season means slowdowns and road closures. Get traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 6s. Weekday mornings on 95.3 MNC. Your breaking news and weather station.
News powered by C. Kramer Interiors. Elegance and style. Value your home with brands like Stickley, Hancock, Theodore, Alexander, and Hickory White. You're invited to their home. C. Kramer Interiors on University Drive in Granger.
winter is the worst for your vehicle. While you're warm and toasty driving down the road, the salt, sludge, and snow is covering your car, building up ice blocks in your wheel well. Don't make winter any worse than it is. Make regular visits to one of the finest exterior auto washes in Parkwood Auto Spa, located in South Bend, just east of Ironwood on Ireland Road, and Mishawaka off Edison Road. Open 7:30 a.m.
want
to
to know
7:30
how
p.m.
Mark steals
7 days a
entire
week.
rolls of
And
toilet
this
paper.
winter season
Right
is
here.
a perfect time to take advantage. Big savings are available with
Yeah.
unlimited monthly car wash packages starting at just $15.95. Visit one of their locations or
That's
go to
not-
parkwoodautospot.com
that's
for
something you
details.
ask about.
And don't forget to download their new app with new and exciting things coming throughout the year. Keep your car happy and clean this winter with Parkwood Auto Spa's unlimited monthly car wash packages
Alrighty.
starting at just $15.95.
Got some Freedom Rose from Black Rifle. It arrived yesterday.
See parkwoodautospot.com.
Ugh.
Parkwood Auto Spa. Come as you are. Stay in your car.
There's nothing small about your business. Your passion, your hours, your reputation.
Kathy, he may potentially face federal hate crimes charges.
With Dell Small Business Technology Advisors, you'll get the tech, advice, and one-on-one
I
partnership.
asked a question on Twitter today.
Dell PCs with Intel Core processors.
If Jussie Smollett were in Indiana, under the new hate crimes bill, as it was amended this week, he could actually be charged with a hate crime. He wouldn't be charged with a hate crime under the old bill.
many are looking for an alternative. Juul was designed by smokers, for smokers, to be a satisfying alternative to cigarettes.
Oh, that's good.
Juul is a vapor
I made it too strong, but that's
contains
good.
nicotine for a satisfying transition. If you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative.
So I'm just going to apologize in advance. The audio I'm going to play for you is not going to go together seamlessly because the file that I worked on for a good portion of this afternoon has disappeared out of the system.
Hendrickson, News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. And please put MNC at the beginning of that message. And I want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range. They have the Guns and Everything Outdoor Spring Show, which is coming up on Saturday, March 2nd and Sunday, March 3rd. Starts at 9 a.m. on both days at the Crown Event Center in New Carlisle. If you would like a booth, they have booths available. And, of course, if you want to attend, just $5 to get in. Kids under 12 are free. There are door prizes as well. Everything for the outdoors, hunting, fishing, trapping, camping, all of that, and much more. Go to secondamendmentarms.net for more information. All right, cue up my audio. I'm going to go ahead and play some audio today. This is from the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department. It's Superintendent Eddie Johnson. Okay, so this is how he opened his press conference today, and he's not happy. If it plays.
Before I get started on why we're here, as I look out into the crowd, I just wish that the families of gun violence in this city got this much attention, because that's who really deserves the amount of attention that we're giving to this particular incident.
Amen to that. He's right, 100%. He's in a packed room, media's everywhere. This story got, something we commented on earlier. It got so much attention. But there's a real problem with murder in Chicago, And to have those families not get the type of attention that Jussie Smollett was getting is embarrassing. He's superintendent's 100% right. So anyway, he continued on to kind of talk about Jussie Smollett and how he took advantage.
This announcement today recognizes that Empire actor Jussie Smollett took advantage of the pain and anger of racism to promote his career. I'm left hanging my head and asking why. Why would anyone, especially an African-American man, use the symbolism of a noose to make false accusations? How could someone look at the hatred and suffering associated with that symbol and see an opportunity to manipulate that symbol to further his own public profile? How can an individual who's been embraced by the city of Chicago turn around and slap everyone in this city in the face by making these false claims?
So the superintendent went on to discuss that filing bogus police reports is a real issue and it harms real victims. It also hurts police work and the ability of them to investigate other crimes.
Bogus police reports cause real harm. They do harm to every legitimate victim who's in need of support by police and investigators, as well as the citizens of this city. Chicago hosts one of the largest pride parades in the world, and we're proud of that as a police department and also as a city.
Okay, now he goes into the details. He goes into what Jussie Smollett did. I should say what he's accused of doing. I don't know how much he's admitted to or not, but this is the fine details. You've heard all of this. You've been listening to the show over the past couple of days, but he goes into it, and then I have some additional stuff to add to it when the superintendent from the Chicago Police Department is finished.
We do not, nor will we ever tolerate hate in our city, whether that hate is based on an individual's sexual orientation, race, or anything else. So I'm offended by what's happened, and I'm also angry. I love the city of Chicago and the Chicago Police Department, warts and all. But this publicity stunt was a scar that Chicago didn't earn and certainly didn't deserve. To make things worse, the accusations within this phony attack received national attention for weeks. Celebrities, news commentators, and even presidential candidates weighed in on something that was choreographed by an actor. First, Smollett attempted to gain attention by sending a false letter that relied on racial, homophobic, and political language. When that didn't work, Smollett paid $3,500 to stage this attack and drag Chicago's reputation through the mud in the process. And why? This stunt was orchestrated by Smollett because he was dissatisfied with his salary. So he concocted a story about being attacked.
All right. So there's the superintendent of the Chicago Police Department giving his press conference today, which you could call blistering, against Jussie Smollett. Jussie Smollett had turned himself in. The official mugshot has been released, and we have posted it on social media for you to go check out. Now, I don't know if I buy the salary argument, okay? Maybe some people are or not. I don't know that I buy that that was his motivation, that he felt he wasn't getting paid enough. Now, here's what we do know. He is reportedly paid around $20,000 per episode, okay? I will take that salary. You take it too? Joe will take it. I'll take 20 grand to be on a show. I hear that Empire is like relatively successful. They're not being canceled, are they? I mean, they keep talking about scaling back his role, which again was denied yesterday by Fox. They said, no, we're not writing him out of the show. Now the rumor is, okay, we're looking at suspending him. One of his co-stars was like, I still believe him today. Okay. So he's reportedly paid $20,000 per episode. I don't know how many episodes are per season. He obviously lives in a very nice neighborhood. Okay. However, Terrence Howard, who I think is the star of the show, and I have stories about Terrence Howard. He is reportedly not a very nice guy. But he gets paid $175,000 per episode. Now, I'm going to assume the mere fact that Terrence Howard is the star of the show and a bigger draw that he's going to get that salary, and Jussie Smollett, who nobody knew about until this thing, probably still overpaid at 20 grand per episode, but I don't know. Okay. I don't know what his role in the show is or anything. I've never seen a single minute of that show. His net worth is $500,000. All right. So I guess he was in the Mighty Ducks. Okay. He was in Alien Covenant. Still haven't seen that. He's in a couple of other ones. So his net worth is $500,000. All right. So that's his net worth. So he wasn't happy about how much he was being paid. That's the official story. Like I said, I don't necessarily buy that. And a lot of other people aren't buying it either. But here's one of the questions we had was how quickly the interview with the two brothers, who are not Nigerian, by the way, we're all talking about them being Nigerian all this time. They're American. They were born in the U.S. They're just of Nigerian descent, which so that's another thing that we all got wrong in the press, right? We just ran with it. So they were only interviewed for like 12 hours. Like it was this really short interview. And people were wondering, why did they get released so quick? Well, it turns out that some of the evidence that they provided, we now have them on tape buying all of the stuff. So Jussie Smollett had apparently given them $500 to go buy the stuff because apparently buying bleach and clothesline is $500. That's how out of touch this guy is. I would be going to the dollar store and I'd be getting that 50-50 bleach blend, but they have plenty of clothesline at the dollar store. I mean, it's like you could easily pocket like $498 of that. But he gave him like $500 to go buy the supplies. So they went and they bought the supplies, and then he paid him $3,500 via check, personal check. So this is why the interview with the Chicago Police Department didn't last very long. They said, no, he paid us to do it. And they said, can you prove it? They go, yeah, he wrote us a check. Here you go. Oh, just like that. Case is over. And that's when they started really focusing on him. Although police say that they were very skeptical from the beginning when he took them to the crime scene. So there you go. I guess that's like the hiring hitman 101. You don't use a personal check, right? There you go. All right, 574-25-95-95-3. He will face felony charges, potential federal charges as well, but that has not been determined as of yet. We got more coming up on News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Weather served by the Prime Table Restaurant.
Is he denying everything right now? Denying it all, huh?
With every sandwich, lunch, and dinner special.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists 5-day forecast.
We have a pleasant day ahead of us with a high of 38 degrees and partly sunny skies turning mostly sunny this evening. There's a couple clouds for tonight with a low of 22 degrees. For Friday, 42, so even a little bit warmer. Underneath mostly sunny skies, you'll only need sunglasses.
So MSNBC yesterday did not cover the Smollett charges in primetime. Zero. Didn't even cover it. CNN has been running around saying, we knew something was fishy. Don Lemon today did a half-hour bit on how we knew something was wrong, and so we just reported the facts of it. The problem is that we have all of his tweets. We have his interviews with other magazines where he was talking about how he was tweeting with Jussie every single day. Okay? It is what it is. So his bond has been set at $100,000.
I am not a realtor or associated with any realty company. I'm a private.
It's 5 episodes worth, right?
Call me at 570-621-3277. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind payment houses. I even buy, my tenant will pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying damaged houses too. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 574-621-3277 for a cash offer today. 574-621-3277.
When you think of Goodwill, you probably think about donating your gently used clothing and household items, which is great. What about those old computers? Have you looked around lately? Chances are there's an old PC stuffed in your closet or your basement.
IMDb, I guess. Is that like the original Mighty Ducks, or is that like the new version of it?
Recycle responsibly and help all of us by protecting the environment from the toxic waste inside computer equipment. It's a free service by Dell Reconnect and Goodwill. You can donate computers, monitors, scanners, printers, working or not. They'll accept anything that can be connected to a computer. Bring it all to a drive-through donation center at your nearest Goodwill retail store. Remember, it's free and you'll get a tax receipt. Get more information online at goodwill-ni.org.
He had like one line.
Okay.
Hey guys, don't mind me as I interrupt your radio program. It's Sue Cosby.
So he's one of the players floating around, but he really wasn't a part of the cast.
Do me a favor and don't touch that dial. That's a mistake. If you've been listening to this radio station, you've probably heard a compelling radio ad for Noxatril, the potent all-natural male enhancement pill. Men constantly reach out and ask me, does this Noxatril really work? Or is it just another scam product? I can tell you there's nothing better than Noxatril. I recommend this super pill to men everywhere. It will transform your life in the bedroom once and for all. Strong, powerful results that increase your blood flow fast. No prescription, no side effects. Just imagine Viagra on steroids.
One of the brothers
so call Noxatril now and take advantage of an incredible free bottle offer shipped discreetly to your door.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Noxatril while supplies.
So Joseph Maggots is going to be the prosecutor in the case, who is reading the bond information right now. He's the one that took over the case because he's the first assistant, and the state's attorney had recused herself.
February 22nd through the 24th. Shop hundreds of RVs from the best RV manufacturers at factory direct pricing. Find the best deals on RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, park models, and much more at the Michiana Camping and RV Show. Friday, February 22nd and 23rd.
Risa Lanier is reading it off now.
From 11 until 5. Manufacturer representatives will be working with dealers.
There's a press conference actually happening on Fox right now.
Extreme RV, D. Showalter RV,
Risa Lanier. She's with the Cook County State Attorney's Office. But First Assistant Joseph Maggots will be the prosecutor in the case.
February 22nd through the 24th. Go online to MichianaEvents.com for more information.
Text time is match time, only in RV Car Company.
The reason she recused herself is that one of the attorneys representing Smollett gave her campaign money when she ran in 2016. Oh, but that wasn't related to the recusal, she says. Okay. Maybe, I think she had communications with him, with Smollett, so she recused herself.
Shop now and get pre-approved at RVCarCompany.com. Traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 6s and a complete wrap-up.
We might as well take the press conference.
First thing in the morning starting at 5. News Talk 95.
There's a press conference happening right now with Risa Lanier. She's the Cook County State Attorney's Office. She's talking about the Smollett case. He's out on bond right now. We're going to go to Fox News with that.
3600 block of North Marshfield Avenue and walked northbound. This was only a few blocks from the brothers' Lakeview apartment, which was also the original Uber pickup location to the staged crime scene. Video shows the brothers walking from where they were dropped off towards their home. 2 minutes after the brothers exited the taxi at 2:27 a.m., defendant Smollett's manager called the police to report the incident. At approximately 2:42 a.m., Chicago police arrived at Smollett's apartment. Chicago police observed that Smollett had a rope draped around his neck. This was captured on police body-worn camera. Seconds later, Smollett asked the police to shut off their cameras. Smollett then made a police report where he claimed he was the victim of an attack in which the offender struck him while yelling racial and homophobic slurs. Smollett also reported that the offenders placed a rope around his neck, poured a liquid chemical on him, and told him this is MAGA country. Defendant Smollett also reported for the first time that 3 days prior, on January 26, 2019, he received a phone call from an unidentified phone number in which an unidentified male caller stated, "Hey, you little F," before ending the call. Smollett also told police that the incident happened near a camera, which he stated should have captured the attack. This is the same camera that Smollett pointed out to the Osendero brothers in preparation of this staged attack. Smollett also told the police that the initial and primary attacker, now known to be Abel Osendero, was wearing a ski mask which covered his entire face with the exception of his eyes and the area all around his eyes. As stated earlier, the Osendero brothers are dark-skinned male blacks. During the Good Morning America interview, Smollett stated, "And it feels like if I had said I was a Muslim or a Mexican or someone black, I feel like the doubters would have supported me much more, a lot more." These statements by Smollett further misled the police and the public to believe his attackers were white. On January 29, 2019, at 7:45 p.m., just less than 18 hours following the reported attack, defendant Smollett placed a phone call to Abel, and the duration of the call was 5 seconds. 2 minutes later, Abel called back Smollett, and that call lasted 1 minute, 34 seconds. The brothers then boarded their flight to Nigeria and left the country. On January 30th, 2019, at 10:46 a.m., defendant Smollett called Abel, who was in Istanbul, Turkey, and the duration of that call lasted 8 minutes and 48 seconds. For the next 2 weeks, Chicago Police Department investigated this matter as a hate crime. crime. The Chicago police were able to identify the Osundero brothers as the alleged attackers through an extensive investigation using surveillance videos, pod police videos, in-car taxi camera videos, ride-share records, credit card records, bank records, and a store receipt. On February 13th of 2019, the brothers returned from Nigeria and landed at the Chicago O'Hare International Airport, and they were detained by U.S. Customs. Members of the Chicago Police Department placed them into custody. That same evening, the Chicago police executed a search warrant upon the Osunderos brothers' residence, where they recovered evidence that linked Abel to the Empire TV show. The police had already determined that Ola was affiliated with the show. Following their arrest and through consultation with their attorneys, the brothers agreed to cooperate in the investigation. As more evidence such as text messages, phone records, social media records, bank records, surveillance video, and the receipt from the purchase of the rope was obtained by investigators, this investigation shifted from a hate crime to disorderly conduct. The Cook County State's Attorney's Office approved charges yesterday at 6:10 p.m. and at 5 a.m. this morning, Defendant Smollett was placed into custody at the Area Central Police Headquarters.
Thank you.
All right, she's gone. She's out of there. No questions. Boom. All right, so here's a couple of things. First of all, I want to applaud the Chicago PD. Now, I will say this. I know that there's a lot of victims in Chicago who wish that they had 12 to 15 detectives applied to their relative's case when their relative was killed. Okay? That doesn't happen. It happened in this case. I think that's a travesty. I agree with the superintendent that when he came out and he opened up his press conference today and said, I wish that there was this much attention given to every victim of gun crime in the city of Chicago. I agree with that statement 100%. I also want to applaud him for calling out celebrities, politicians, and news media for spreading the rumors and the fake story, because he called them all out for doing that. And that should be applauded as well. He should be applauded for his stance on Jussie Smollett, what he did, the misuse of police resources, and everything else. Lisa or Nisa Lanier, Miss Lanier, who was just speaking, very matter-of-factly laying out this case in clear, concise terms, including pointing out how he misled them to believe that the assailants were white, and that the new evidence obtained from the brothers and how they tracked the brothers down, all of that has been laid out crystal clear for everybody to understand at this point in time. So Chicago, I think, deserves some serious praise for this, even though it took far more resources to look at this case than it does when somebody loses their life in that city. And that is a travesty. 574-25-95-95-3. Brett, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. What's up?
Good. I agree with you. I think that the Chicago Police Department did a really good job there.
Now we're learning that they were suspicious from the very beginning when he took them to the crime scene, and they kept that under wraps. And that, you know, that's good investigative work.
And I think those folks in that city, you know, they sort of, you know, they get a lot of criticism for the work that they do, and it just, you know, goes to show that, you know, there's good people out there doing good work, and I think you're right to commend them on a job well done. I do think that we're part of the problem by giving even this case so much attention. And I have I guess I have a concern that while we're saying that this receives so much undue attention, one of the mistakes we're making is by giving it more attention. And one of the conversations that I think that should be being had, in addition to this conversation, that I haven't heard a lot of attention focused on, is the Coast Guard supremacist case.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that today, but that's just breaking today.
Yeah, right. That's, right. You know, and I just think that, you know, I think that, you know, sort of in an attempt to have a conversation, you know, we sort of need to apply appropriate weight, and by focusing too much on these, you know, silly outlier courses, you know, across the political spectrum. You know,
now here's where I'm going to disagree. One, the only reason I focused on this case as much as I did is because I suspected that it was fraud from the very beginning and saw the media pushing it. And at that point, you have to expose this stuff. But also, two, everybody who initially backed Jussie Smollett wants us to talk about the Coast Guardsmen and not talk about Jussie Smollett today.
Oh, yeah, no.
They want this buried. They want it to go away.
I think we should talk about both of them.
And we will.
And so there's no disagreement there.
Yeah.
And then I just had a question, too, just because I'm curious. I don't share the same political ideologies as you in particular, but I like to listen to the conversation and be part of it. And I just wondered from like a conservative's perspective, is there any viable alternatives to the Trump universe as far as from your perspective? And then a
primary?
Yeah, for a primary contender to Trump. And are there any names floating around there that you're interested in?
No. And the reason for that is he has larger support among his base than any recent Republican president. So
what about outside the base? I mean, I can speak, for example,
but nobody would win that. Yeah, nobody would win that. I mean, anytime you have a president in office, the party's not going to abandon that person. So there's other people that I would like to see as president, and there's people that I wanted to see as president over President Trump. But as far as removing him with a primary, no, not going to happen.
Okay. Yeah, I just wondered if there were any names floating around there that I should be aware of. Because on the Democratic side, there seems to be a melee happening, and I feel like some candidates that are viable are sort of being unnecessarily smeared in the media. I'm sure you're aware of I think
Tulsi Gabbard is being treated very unfairly.
Yeah, right. And then I was going to ask, what do you think about your local hometown hero, Mayor Pete, making a push for it? You have to be a little bit proud that,
not really
practical.
Not proud. I mean, it's an interesting story because it brings a lot of attention. And I've told people before, as a Democratic strategist, of the ones that have declared, I could do more with him than the others.
That's interesting.
But I think he's gonna get lost unless he has a major push from big people behind the scenes, which he does have a lot of support behind the scenes, including President Obama. He's going to struggle to get off of the early stage.
One thing that I feel like he did good for South Bend that hasn't been done, and I think that he does deserve some applause and some respect for this, is I think that he was able, what I've noticed is he was able to bridge South Bend with the University of Notre Dame community in a way that, hasn't really been successfully done in the past. And I think that that's an interesting...
Wasn't sure that there was a rift between the university and the city of South Bend.
Well, there wasn't, but there was never a rift per se, but the way he was able to bridge those communities and work together to get a lot of, initiatives, started and conversations happening. I think that this is, in the future, the way that I
would need more details on that. And I'm already 3 minutes late because I don't see that. If you have more detail, or you call tomorrow in the 5 o'clock hour.
I appreciate having the conversation with you. And I think that, good people having conversations about the things
that's what we should be doing.
About is the way to be.
Absolutely.
Is the way to,
Brett, I got to run. I'm really late. My producer's yelling at me.
All right,
buddy.
Well.
Appreciate it. Thank you much. But please call back Friday, tomorrow, in the 5 o'clock hour during open lines. I'd be happy to have that discussion a little bit more. We got more coming up. 95.3 MNC. MNC News Time is 3:34. Time to check out Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online at mastersheatcool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station.
Figured I'd let the seminar caller have his say.
Afternoon, 2 Southern police officers have resigned. One leaving the force after being charged with theft. The Board of Public Safety accepted the resignation of Brandon Jones at their meeting on Wednesday. The former officer has been charged with theft for allegedly changing price tags on merchandise at a local Walmart. That resulted in a loss of about $66 for the store. Jones also issued a formal apology at the meeting. 95.3 MNC's Tommy Lee reporting. The Board of Public Safety also accepted the resignation of Christopher Hauser. The South Bend Tribune reports that back in December, Police Chief Scott Ruskowski recommended that Hauser be fired for violating multiple department policies. And South Bend's mayor is on the New York Times bestsellers list. Shortest Way Home, the new book by Pete Buttigieg, debuted at number 9 on the hardcover nonfiction list. The mayor's been on a book tour recently and is, of course, still exploring a run for the presidency. It's a free public event to discuss the book in downtown South Bend on March 13th at the St. Joseph County Public Library. Meantime, the mayor is also featured on the cover of this week's Time magazine. A caricature of Buttigieg is seen along with other Democratic presidential contenders peering into the Oval Office.
Fox News, I'm Rich Dennison. Empire TV actor Jesse Smollett's bond set at $100,000. He appeared in a Chicago courtroom on a felony charge for what Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson says was a staged racist and homophobic attack.
To put the national spotlight on Chicago for something that is both egregious and untrue is simply shame.
Smollett faces up to 3 years in prison if convicted. Coast Guard Lieutenant Christopher Hassan was ordered to be held until his trial on weapons and drug charges during a court appearance today.
The sheer number and force of weapons recovered from Mr. Hassan's residence in this case, coupled with the disturbing nature of his writings, appear to reflect a very significant threat to the safety of our community.
U.S. District Attorney Robert Hur says Hassan was planning domestic terror attacks against Democratic lawmakers, media personalities, and members of the public. This is Fox News.
Weather sponsored by the Prime Table Restaurant in Niles, where there's a favorite for everyone.
My favorite is the hamburgers. My favorite's the pancakes.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialist first warning forecast.
Plenty of sunshine today with temperatures warming up to 38 degrees. Still a little bit breezy at times. And for tonight, we'll see a few clouds, low of 22. The Friday, even nicer, mostly sunny skies, temperatures at 42. But the rainy conditions start to move in for your weekend. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Selma Kennedy.
News powered by Polymax of 4 Lakes, now offering flavored Ultracell Full Spectrum CBD oil. Ask about it today and come taste what it means to make American food great again.
Polymax at 4 Lakes. Raised meats made to order American classics like walleye, bluegill, haddock, hand-cut chicken,
Yummers.
steaks, slow-smoked ribs, double bacon, double cheeseburgers, wings, and a full bar to put the finishing touches on your visit. Just a short drive from anywhere in Michiana.
Oh, no, William, you're not the only old person in here. My mom's in here, too.
Golf course on Highway 12 in Edwardsburg, and we are open to the public. Check out our daily specials today. Visit Tuesdays through Saturdays to taste what it means to make American food great again.
Don't let winter affect your golf game. Get 50% off Swing Suite rentals for Blackthorn Top Golf Swing Suite at My Deals Michigan.
This is my lunch, so.
Blackthorn Top Golf Swing Suite offers more than just golf. Play virtual baseball, football, hockey, and zombie dodgeball.
Like I said, I was born in the wrong country. If I were in Japan, I could make money eating donuts in front of the camera.
Top Golf Swing Suite is perfect for every occasion. Be part of the best deal in Michiana and get 50% off your.
Do you think the Japanese would pay a premium to watch a white guy eat food on a live stream?
This is Who's Your Man today. I'm Andy Eubank with Thursday closing farm market report in the market's response to positive trade war news. This update is brought to you by IOM Grain, who is protecting your bottom line this spring, raising non-GMO.
Positive trade war news.
Eliminate basis fluctuations in the cash market. Learn more IOMgrain.com. A breakthrough apparently in trade.
So our gatekeeper's birthday is today. She finally turned 21.
Drafting of memorandums of understanding. March corn 375.5.
She's already engaged.
Quarters on the day, also 4 3/4 up on May and July. May finishing at 384 1/4. 911 March beans up 8.5. 924.
Not the term I would have used, but okay.
3/4 higher. 937.5. And a nickel and 3/4.
You're like one of those pro-marriage people.
April live
Pro
cattle,
anything
128.60, up almost $3. April lean hogs, 55.95. I'm Andy.
No, I was shocked. She introduced me to her fiance a couple weeks ago. I was like, wow, you're already engaged. I didn't know that she was 20. I thought she was younger. She was more in line with your age. But
She's only 2 years older. Almost 2.
I know, but 20 to 18, 21 to 18. I mean, it's like
almost
it's a huge
2 years.
gap.
Literally, she's like
I know, but it's a huge gap.
16.
It means more in your age demographic than it does in mine. It's from 18 to 21 is like she can buy beer and stuff.
Right.
You can't. If I would have known that she was turning 21 today, I would have brought her a beer. I don't know if she likes beer, but I've got plenty of
How
it.
would she know? Okay, she's never had beer before. How would she know? She
Yeah, she's never had beer before. She's a good girl.
Did you see that thing I posted about Obama's kid on Twitter?
No, I didn't.
So there's a picture of her drinking.
Yeah.
Like she's only 20.
I know the
this
story.
Just in,
Yeah, it happens.
underage college student drink.
Well, and they picked on her too. She was at was it Lollapalooza that she got caught doing that several years ago? And there was a couple of people that pitched a fit about it back then, but I didn't know anybody who got upset about it this time. I saw more people going, people are really upset. I'm like, I don't see anybody upset about it. But I'm sure there were one or two. Frank once actually tweeted to journalists and said, point to one verified conservative on Twitter who is upset about it. And the guy wouldn't do it. So, and I don't know that you can count it if it's your Tom, Dick, and Harry lives in mom's basement guy. But yeah, it's like newsflash. People do that. That's okay.
We'll design a sustainable, high-performance home that can reduce the amount of money you spend on energy, often to zero. This is done by greatly reducing the energy needed for heating and cooling. With a zero-energy home, you've already paid for the next 30 years of utility bills up front. Then, as energy costs continue to rise, yours won't. So if you're looking to build a new home and you love the sustainability idea, visit newenergybuilding.com. They'll help you build a zero-energy home. And the best part? Zero never goes up.
At least she can buy energy drinks. Yep.
It's Sue Cosmo, sexual health expert on men's performance in the bedroom. Don't touch that email. That's a mistake. If you've been listening to this radio
So yeah, we'll get to the Coast Guard story later. And like I said, you know, I mean the last caller, he was very nice, and I could have talked to him all day, but you notice he immediately wanted to get off of Jussie Smollett and talk about the white supremacist as fast as possible, which is exactly what was predicted and we're seeing with the media right now. Like I said, MSNBC did not cover Jussie Smollett being charged last night in prime time at all, not 1 minute. So they will do everything they can to get off of that story.
Find out how to get a free bottle of Noxatril while supplies last. Call 1-800-551-4182. That's 800-551-4182. 3 bottles for a limited time, so call now. 800-551-4182. That's 800-551-4182.
All right, here we go.
Not at you. News Talk 95.3.
We have 3 minutes.
What's that?
You have like less than 3 minutes.
Oh man. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. We will get to the people are asking me the nationality of the Coast Guardsman because he's a white supremacist, but he's got a weird name for white supremacist. We'll get to that. Okay, we'll get to that story a little bit later on. I promise. And like you know, we kind of saw it with the last caller, and he was very nice. Don't misunderstand me, but everybody is looking at immediately getting away from talking about Jussie Smollett's fraud and what that entailed. Berkeley today, a representative of Turning Point USA was physically assaulted. It was all caught on camera simply because he was from Turning Point USA. He was called a racist and he was punched in the face, and it was all caught on camera. So, you know, I've had over the past, 3 days, I've had 4 or 5 examples of actual hate directed at Trump supporters that haven't been covered by the press. MSNBC last night did not cover Jussie Smollett's charges in primetime at all. Not once. So, you know, it's important to expose the frauds because so many people believe the frauds and then the frauds live on long after they've been exposed as frauds because the press doesn't cover that they're frauds. They have no choice here because they puff this one up so much. I think they have to cover it. And they're being forced into it right now, even though MSNBC is trying to ignore it. CNN's like, we were doubtful the entire time. Of course, they weren't. We played you the montage. You know, we played you the montage, multiple CNN personalities, multiple MSNBC personalities, and other media outlets spreading the lie. So, and like I said, it's, you know, you report it. You should be doing your job. You report it, go, okay, this is the allegation. You get into day 2 and you go, this is why people are skeptical of the allegation. But this is what police are saying. And then you can have your opinion, people weigh in on their opinion of it. And that's kind of what we did. But it's, yeah, it's unfortunate. So we'll get to the National or the Coast Guard story a little bit later on today, probably in the 5 o'clock hour, but we will definitely get to it. All right, we got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
Breaking news and weather.
Roland always hangs up on me, man. You never hang out. What the hell?
The Prime Table offers 2 homemade soups prepared fresh every day. Soup included with every sandwich, lunch, and dinner special.
Your Home and Comfort Experts Heating Specialist 5-day forecast.
We have a pleasant day ahead of us with a high of 38 degrees and partly sunny skies, turning mostly sunny this evening. 22 degrees. For Friday, 42, so even a little bit warmer. Underneath mostly sunny skies, you'll definitely need the sunglasses. We continue to warm up into Saturday, a high of...
I mean, he definitely looks white.
A brief period of freezing rain early in the morning before it changes over to all rain showers. Good news is most will not be on the roads when we have that chance for freezing rain or drizzle. We'll have temperatures, though, start to fall for Sunday with rain changing over to snow. And
all right, so just for giggles, let's go to MSNBC's website.
We do get to Sunday. Finally, much quieter for Monday with a high of 30. ABC and B7
Let's see what stories they feature. Mark Harris calls for new election in North Carolina House race. Jussie Smollett arrested. That's up there. A couple thought murder plot untraceable on Snapchat, police say. Venezuela's Maduro closes Brazil border to block aid entry. Their website's covering everything pretty good. I'll give MSNBC credit for that. They're just not putting it on TV. Interesting.
Michiana Camping and RV Show will be held at the Michiana Event Center February 22nd through the 24th. Shop hundreds of RVs from the best RV manufacturers at factory direct pricing. Find the best deals on RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, park models, and much more at the Michiana Camping and RV Show. Friday and Saturday, February 22nd and 23rd from 10 until 8, and Sunday, February 24th from 11 until 5. Manufacturer representatives will be working with dealers such as Wana RV.
Somebody's asking why he might face federal hate crime charges. That's because of the mail that he sent himself, not because of the fake attack. So he sent himself a racist piece of mail with white powder in it, remember? So that's where he's facing a couple of charges at the federal level.
Go online to MichianaEvents.com for more information.
Messaging day rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of...
No reason absentee voting started in Michigan. Yay! Voter fraud.
And in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free. Text the word FAST to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text FAST to 797979. Text FAST to 797979.
Resolutions. They are easy to make and hard to follow. If your resolution involves being a better, more giving person, then there is an easy way to follow through. Give blood at the South Bend Medical Foundation. You will help neighbors in need, and you are being a good citizen.
Uh-oh.
You will also be helping yourself by improving your own cardiovascular
One of the candidates for mayor of South Bend is a suspect in a theft from an impound lot.
You'll receive a pair of fun dress socks. Be a New Year's hero for the
campaign over.
Local hospital donations from South Bend Medical Foundation to aid in emergency situations and for patients in need. And to thank
Ooh, South Bend Common Council is going to host a meeting on climate change next Wednesday.
It's our way of saying thanks. Thanks. Donating is easy and only takes a few moments. Keep that New Year's resolution and give. Contact the donor center most convenient to you and make an appointment today. Call 234-1157 or log on to givebloodnow.com. Roll up your sleeve, kick up your feet, and
I think it's Thursday next week. We're doing the award ceremony.
What's the difference between a
We have building awards every year. I never get to go because it's always during my show. And I think I have sufficiently complained for enough years that they're allowing me to go, so I RSVP'd, so I think it's Thursday. So I won't be in here, so I don't know what's happening with you. I don't know for simulcasting or what.
Find out more at elkhart.betting.com.
The top local stories, updated all the time on 953mnc.com. From News Talk 95.3 Michiana's News Channel, your breaking news and weather station.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. And please put MNC at the beginning of that message. All right, so here we go. Your daily derp, if you will. So vandals decided to destroy a statue. They tried to light it on fire, a statue of General Lee. Now, as silly and stupid as that is, because they don't understand the history of General Lee, they also got the wrong General Lee statue, and they tried to light the statue of Major General William C. Lee, who was in World War II. Not Robert E. Lee from the Civil War. Vandals went after the wrong Confederate monument Thursday night and instead burned a World War II general statue in North Carolina. Major General William C. Lee's statue was burned at around 10 p.m. Thursday after someone poured flammable liquid over the white marble statue and set it ablaze, according to a Facebook post. It scorched the statue mostly on the left side, the post said. You can see the burn marks in the marble where the jerk placed I'm quoting, where the jerk placed the remainder of the fuel container on the platform. The cleaning and repair possibilities process will begin soon. Local security cameras will be reviewed. You're looking at it, and it's going to be easily repaired. But it just, I mean, the general's in his uniform. So every time I hear or see one of those posts that like the average person has no idea what D-Day is, like there's part of me that gets really skeptical of those things, right? You know, they go to like college campuses and high schools and things like that. Like, what is D-Day and what is 9/11 and what happened? And they don't know. And there's part of me that's like, there's no way they don't know. But then I see a story like this and I go, maybe it's possible because he's wearing a World War II uniform. Now, World War II uniforms look dramatically different from Civil War uniforms, like dramatically. And you would assume if you're going to burn down a statue, you probably check the name on the statue. And Lee's a fairly common name in the United States. So I suppose it's possible that we have those people. Did you know that there's only one state where the majority of citizens, according to surveys, not that they actually surveyed all citizens in each state, but there's only one state in the United States that they say that most citizens could pass the U.S. citizenship test? Did you know that? What state do you think it is? Texas? No, not Texas. Good guess, though. Texas is more American than America. Vermont, where Bernie Sanders is from. So there you go. Museum curator Mark Johnson told the Daily Caller News Foundation that over a phone call that fixing the damage could easily cost $1,000 will come from the organization's funds. If you want to attack the Civil War statue's history, we're not the ones, Johnson said. Wrong general, wrong century, wrong war. Okay. I get what he's saying. If you want to attack Civil War statues, like, that's not us. How about don't attack any statue at all. Go through the proper channels to get it removed if you want it removed. then maybe we have a conversation. This guy's like, hey, if you want to burn down a statue, that's cool. Just don't do ours because it's like the wrong century. Like, come on, man. Lee is the father of the U.S. Airborne Army. According to the museum, hundreds of Facebook comments expressed disdain, and many felt insulted over the statue's damage, as you should. You should feel insulted about it. But you got a bunch of know-nothings running around, angry at everything, just upset at a bunch of stuff for no reason. And they said, hey, we're going to go ahead and take down this Robert E. Lee statue. This guy wearing a World War II uniform that isn't named Robert or E, but is named Lee. So let's go ahead and get that. You remember when was it the NFL that took the announcer whose name was ESPN? It might have been ESPN who took one of their announcers whose name was Lee off of the broadcast. That was at the time that everybody's taking down the Robert E. Lee statues, and it was a big debate. And his name was Robert Lee, little Asian dude. And so they didn't want him on the broadcast because of all the controversy that was happening with the name Robert Lee, in spite of the fact that he clearly isn't Robert E. Lee and doesn't look anything like him. And, Robert E. Lee's been dead for a long time. Like I said, it's wonderful hysterics when we look at the situation that we're in right now. All right, 574-25-95-95-3. One of the South Bend mayoral candidates is in trouble. Campaign likely done. Will Smith, not that Will Smith, but Democrat candidate for South Bend Mayor Will Smith, appears to be a suspect in the theft of a repossessed SUV from Stark County. A black Chevrolet Suburban was reported stolen from an impound lot in Stark County on February 13th, according to the South Bend police. 2 days later, a South Bend police officer noticed a Suburban matching that description. Of course, there's like one or two black Chevy Suburbans floating around. It's like the most common car ever. So anyway, a police officer noticed the description that matched the vehicle in the driveway of a home at the 700 block of North Whitehall Avenue. The police said that a person named Will Smith is listed as a suspect in the alleged theft and is sought by police. Garcia said that he did not know if that person is the mayoral candidate. Campaign filing records, however, show that mayoral candidate Will Smith lives in the 700 block of North Whitehall Avenue, the same block where the car was found. Uh-oh. That's not good. The officer ran the license plates, and it turned out not to belong to that vehicle, but a different one. The car was impounded by police on February 15th, according to Garcia. That's South Bend police. Nobody was home at the time, and a tow truck impounded the vehicle. The former owner of the car was Smith prior to its repossession by his bank. Not a good look to be running for office with a repo that just happened. Not generally a good look, but if you are the Democrats in South Bend, you know that you can have thousands of dollars in outstanding parking tickets that have not been paid, and you can still win your race with the endorsement of the mayor of the city. So, which we had happen the last election. So, maybe 2 elections ago. So, I guess if you're in the city of South Bend, you know that you can have some legal troubles and still get elected to office as long as you got the right people backing you. So, I guess this could be campaign over. I assume it's not considered one of the favorites, but yeah, not a good look. Not a good look at all. All right, we are live streaming. Go to youtube.com/Casey the Host or facebook.com/Casey the Host, and make sure you hang out in the live stream. Of course, you can chat with everybody, ask us some questions. While you're there on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button, click on the bell icon to get notified when we start uploading new videos. More coming up, 95.3 MNC.
WTRCF.
Yowza. Whoa. See, that's one of those coughs that is bringing like stuff from way down here, and then I get lightheaded and feel like I'm gonna pass out. Oh God, it sounded like she said whorehouse. It did. It so sounded like it.
It did.
She said court. Court.
Accusing Smollett of having 2 acquaintances stage an attack against him. Defendant Smollett also stated
court.
The brothers to catch his attention by calling him an Empire F, Empire Smollett's attorneys say
It was I thought it was ESPN.
20th Century Fox Television
All right.
makes empire
I don't remember what they pulled him off of, but
and appreciates the seriousness of the matter. Smollett is charged with felony disorderly conduct, but additional charges have not been ruled out. Also just appearing in court, the president's former advisor Roger Stone apologizing to a judge for a social media post of her picture near crosshairs, insisting it wasn't meant to be threatening. The judge is weighing potential punishment. Stone, who faces charges stemming from the Russia probe.
no, they definitely didn't include Bernie.
Some breaking news on the only midterm election that still hasn't been called, a congressional race in North Carolina. Fox's Jared Halpern is live on Capitol Hill.
An abrupt change of heart for a Republican congressional candidate who, after narrowly winning a North Carolina House seat, was never seated in Congress because of evidence of ballot fraud. Mark Harris has now told the state elections board he supports a new election. Harris led Democrat Dan McCready by fewer than 1,000 votes in November, but the state refused to certify the results. During a 4-day hearing with the state election board, Harris's son testified he had warned his father about hiring a political operative accused of ballot harvesting. Lisa.
Jared, thanks. A sell-off on Wall Street, the Dow down 103 points at the bell. This is Fox News.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. Michiana's news.
All right, so I'm going to redo the chat just so we don't get hit here in a couple of minutes.
MNC News Time, 4:02. I'm John Sidney in the MNC News Center. Among our top stories this afternoon, tests have revealed that a 10-year-old child in Elkhart died as the result of ingesting meth.
The Elkhart County Prosecutor's Office says the young girl was initially believed to have died of natural causes related to bowel obstruction and internal complications. That was the determination after an initial autopsy in June of last year. Subsequent
Yeah, they let their meth out so
shows
the
her
kid
blood
could get
had
it.
high levels of methamphetamine, and criminal negligence charges were
See, the
filed
first
earlier
mistake
this
was
month
doing meth.
against Erica Rechty and Brandon
Second
Hobbs of
mistake was doing
Cassopolis. They had brought the child and
Did
a
you,
younger sibling to the home
were
where
you
she
watching all
gained
those
access
videos
to
of the
the
cops that
drug.
were taking like video and photo of the parents who were passed out on opiates in the cars of the kids in the back seat and stuff? So police departments started doing it because you have both parents out in the front, and the kid's still strapped into the car seat. So the police departments all across the country started taking pictures of this and putting it online. Like, seriously, like think of what could happen to your kid in the midst of this. And what if these people weren't just passed out, but they OD'd and died? And then people started getting angry at the police departments for violating the privacy of the parents. I'm not kidding.
No.
It's and it's like, are you serious?
No, I know a lot of addicts, and that's because my mom used to work at a rehabilitation center, so I know a lot of addicts. I know a lot of clean addicts. And I know every single one of them would be like, yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, totally fair.
Well, sure. I mean, damn. There's no more powerful image I think you could give a parent who's an addict. Because they still love their kids, generally.
Usually. About 8 times out of 10.
Think about your kids here.
Weather served by the Prime Table
And I've
Restaurant
known
in Niles. The
addicts
Prime Table
from
offers
when we were foster parenting
fresh every day.
who are all who honestly love their kids and get clean and relatively quickly get clean.
Plenty of
Just so they
sunshine
can have
today
their
with
kids
temperatures
back.
warming up to 38 degrees.
Now, whether or not they stay clean once the kids go away is a different story, but that's a different battle.
Friday, even nicer,
This is
mostly
also
sunny
true.
skies.
But
Temperatures
the
at
fact
42.
is that they look
And
at
then rainy conditions start to move in for your weekend. And the
it's
ABC
about
7 first
8, 9
warning
times out of 10.
I'm meteorologist Selma Kennedy.
That's
crazy.
Crazy. 95.3 MNC Studios. I'm John Sidney, News Talk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel.
Download the 95.3 MNC app and stay connected to live audio and the day's biggest news, all in the palm of your hand. From 95.3MNC.com, your breaking news and weather station.
News powered by Polymax at 4 Lakes, now offering flavored Ultracell Full Spectrum CBD oil. Ask about it today and come taste what it means to make American food great again.
Polymax at 4 Lakes. Locally raised meats made to order American classics like walleye, bluegill, haddock, hand-cut Chairman's Reserve steaks, slow-smoked ribs, double bacon, double cheeseburgers, wings, and a full bar to put the finishing touches on your visit. Just a short drive from anywhere in Michiana. We're located between the 9th and 10th holes of Four Lakes Golf Course on Highway 12 in Edwardsburg, and we are open to the public. Check out our daily specials today. Visit Tuesdays through Saturdays to taste what it means to make American food great again.
95.3 MNC. Securing your financial future each and every Saturday morning with Wise Money with Corhorn Financial Group. Financial advisors Kevin Corhorn, Mike Bernard, and Josh Gregory are here to talk about the latest money news and how to fix your pocketbook, savings account, or retirement plan.
Hi, this is Josh from Wise Money with Corhorn Financial Group. 40%
All the things that I can consume.
That's financial life can support. We'll help you avoid making that mistake this week on Wise Money.
Listen Saturday
They're
at
taking
9
my
on
statue down from
93 MNC and WiseMoneyRadio.com.
There's nothing small about your business. Your passion.
I'm going to come in. I'm going to have a whole built-in thing over there. We're going to have it all built out. Just going to do it one night without John knowing about it.
Technology advisors, you'll get the tech
And bring in a butt ton of like geeky display stuff.
business grow. Because with reliable Dell PCs,
I'll even have a little Miley Cyrus swinging on a ball.
Focus on what matters most, getting business done.
Maybe swinging on the Death Star.
Dell to speak with an advisor today. That's 877
Maybe.
by Dell.
I
Get up first thing.
made an effort, so finishing up some things I started to never, like shows I started to never finish.
Kind of feeling like I've lost about
And so I started with Legend of Korra because I'm a nerd. The Avatar second series. And I'm finishing up the last season of Star Wars Rebels, and I'm like 2 episodes out from
BB made the switch July 2015.
And I never really thought about what powered the giant laser in the Death Star until I realized it was a giant. I mean, a giant kind of crystal.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, what else would it be, Joe? Other than a giant kyber crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who designed the Death Star? A couple of Force users.
Yep. Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. And again, the Guns and Everything Outdoors Spring Show, brought to you by Trap and Fool and Second Amendment Arms and Range, happens Saturday, March 2nd and Sunday, March 3rd. Starts at 9 a.m. on both days at the Crown Event Center in New Carlisle. And of course, if you're into fishing, hunting, trapping, archery, camping, all of that stuff outdoors, they've got door prizes and everything else. If you have a vendor booth that you want to go ahead and get, you want to sell some stuff out there, you can also do that. There is some space available. And contact Paul over at secondamendmentarms.net for more information about that. I just got a report of an accident that just happened. Police are there already. This is westbound Yankee Street, and I don't have a cross street, though. So I don't have that. They did say that you are still able to get through, but it's on Yankee Street, and it's westbound Yankee Street. I just don't have a cross street on there. So we're working on it right now. Joe's working to get it. That just came through via text. Thank you very much for the information. Appreciate it. Casey, let's see, where is this? Where'd you go? All right, Casey. White nationalist and nationalist are two very different animals. That's true. So we'll get to the case again in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk about the Coast Guard. But he is apparently a self-described white supremacist. Okay. And I've talked about the wordplay with white nationalist because if you are a nationalist but happen to be white, they can easily pin you as a white nationalist. And the connotation there is that you're a white supremacist, but they are two different things. So a very, very interesting observation. All right, 574-25-95-95-3. Michigan State Police Trooper at the Niles Post is facing felony embezzlement charges. Jesse Binns has been arraigned in Cass County District Court on the charge, which dates back to his time as an assistant chief at the Cass Central Fire Department. He's charged with embezzlement of more than $1,000, but less than $20,000 from a nonprofit or charitable organization. The Michigan Attorney General received the report last month to determine the charges. Binns was removed from fire duty in September and suspended without pay from the state police in September as well. That suspension is ongoing until the outcome of his criminal case. This is it's not good. So now again, we don't have a ton of details on this. We're just passing it on, letting you know. Stories at 953mnc.com. If you would like to go ahead and keep track of it, you can do it that way. But certainly doesn't look good, at least initially. All right, what else do we have here? Okay. I didn't get to this yesterday. So did you all know that the President of the United States is leading an effort internationally to decriminalize homosexuality? Okay. Now, the idea is to, not have gay people murdered all over the world or incarcerated for their sexuality. And the president has been working with allied nations to go and apply pressure to other nations to go and decriminalize homosexuals. And so now, which, if that were a Democratic president who had done that, of course, everybody would be talking about it. It would be celebrated as it should be. So now we have an LGBT magazine is attacking the president for his efforts to decriminalize homosexual behavior. Okay, I know it's only Thursday, and your brains probably aren't working very well. There is a magazine that is an LGBT magazine who is angry at President Trump for trying to decriminalize homosexuality around the globe. It's an op-ed. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read some of the stuff that's in it, just so you can kind of understand where they're coming from. Now, who's writing this article? Hank Berrien. On Tuesday, Out, a magazine devoted to the LGBT issues, ran an op-ed slamming President Trump's efforts to decriminalize homosexual behavior across the globe. By the way, Out magazine has covered this officially more than I think major media has in the U.S., snapping that it is cover for a colonialist attitude towards Iran. You know what they do with gay people in Iran, right? The author actually defended Iran from charges that its theocratic regime has a brutal record against homosexuals, quoting The Guardian, which stated that in the last 5 years, the government has relaxed its anti-gay laws. Okay. The author of the op-ed, Matthew Rodriguez, wrote that Richard Grenell, U.S. ambassador to Germany, who is gay, and a staunch opponent of Iran, is trying to reach an economic goal by painting the administration's opponent as anti-gay, because Iran is anti-gay. Rodriguez conveniently ignored the fact that, according to the state-controlled Iranian Students News Agency, the Iranian government publicly hanged a 31-year-old Iranian man on January 10th, finding him guilty of violating Iran's anti-gay laws, which we covered on the show. As the Jerusalem Post noted, Iran's radical Sharia law system prescribes the death penalty for gays. In February, Grenell told the German newspaper Bild that the hanging was a wake-up call for anybody who supports basic human rights, adding that this is not the first time that the Iranian regime has put a gay man to death. No, it's not. With the usual outrageous claims of prostitution, kidnapping, and even pedophilia. It is sadly won't be the last time that barbaric public executions are all too common in a country where consensual homosexual relationships are criminalized and punishable by flogging and death. Politicians, the UN democratic governments, diplomats, and good people everywhere should speak up and loudly, he said. Again, this is the ambassador to Germany, who is himself gay. Rodriguez claimed that the Trump administration's campaign to eradicate criminalization of homosexuality, quote, looks more like another instance of the right using queer people as a pawn to amass power and enact its own agenda. He then added that the Trump administration does not have a great human rights record at home when it comes to LGBTQ plus issues. Well, what's the negative on that track record? I mean, aside from revoking the trans policy in the military, there was that. But beyond that, I don't even know what he's talking about. Rodriguez attempted to buttress the case by quoting Josh Lederman, who reported the original NBC News story about the campaign, telling Out magazine, "We know Trump is very focused on Iran and is looking for ways to demonize it in the public opinion And this is one area where the U.S. and European countries see eye to eye on Iran. So it makes sense for them to focus strategically on that rather than sanctions, where there's been a big gulf between the U.S. and its allies. Okay, this kind of goes back to this is my personal philosophy now, and I know that other people disagree with me. I don't care why somebody's doing the right thing. I care that they're doing it. I don't really care about the motivations. If it's a selfish motivation, okay, so be it. Like for you, if you want to donate large sums of money to charity or your time to charity because you want to feel good about yourself and you don't really care about the people that you're helping, I don't care as long as you're helping them. And if the president is going to go around and try and decriminalize homosexual behavior throughout the country or the world so that people aren't being executed for engaging in that behavior, then shouldn't everybody kind of be happy about that? Whether he's trying to shine a light on Iran, whether there might be an extra benefit or even an ulterior motive involving Iran. There's a lot of places in the world where homosexual behavior is illegal, and some places where it's punishable by death, like Iran. One of the things that conservatives have pointed out for a number of years is that when the LGBT community here starts talking about human rights violations and things like that, we always wonder why they don't mention countries like Iran, where it's barbaric how they treat people. Absolutely barbaric. And they just kind of ignore it. Well, here's the president kind of shining a light on it, and they are refusing to talk. Well, at least this one outlet is refusing to talk about it again, except to attack the president. So even though the president is doing something that benefits their community and that they should technically be behind, they're still opposed to it simply because there's an ulterior benefit that may help the United States with Iran. That doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, does it? Rodriguez then segued to his argument that the campaign is a colonialist one, that Grenell's attack might be a case of white men trying to save brown gay men from brown straight men. So what? They're in a position to help save them. And you can say anything you want about the Trump administration. Colonialist is not one of the descriptors. We got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Get breaking news.
I think I found it.
You got it?
I think so. It's right under Detroit Road.
Okay.
I looked. Live traffic says it's just really slow right there.
Okay.
And so I went ahead, checked typical traffic at this time of this day. It's not that. Yankee Street, in Edwardsburg, Michigan. I'm a little. My mouth is not.
Okay.
There's not really a cross street like right where it is, but like right under the Detroit Road.
Okay.
We have a pleasant day ahead of us with a high of 38
tell
degrees
if
and partly sunny
Bob
skies turning mostly sunny
not.
this evening. There's a couple clouds for tonight with a low of 22 degrees. For
Near
Friday,
Huntley
42,
Road
so
and
even a
Jeremy.
little bit
It's like
warmer.
right in
Underneath
between
mostly sunny skies, you'll definitely need sunglasses.
So put that in
We
there,
continue to warm up
or-
into Saturday,
yeah,
high of
could you?
49. Could see a brief period of freezing rain early in the morning before it changes over to all rain showers. Good news is most will not be on the roads when we have that chance for freezing rain or drizzle.
So listener Frank is asking me what I think about Bench-made knives helping the Oregon police destroy guns. I was waiting for somebody to bring that up.
For Monday with a high of 30. In the ABC 57 First 40 Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Helen Kennedy.
The top news stories.
This new Green Deal.
He should resign.
I'm not going anywhere.
Candidate for president. I announce my candidacy.
What she said.
Anti-Semitism.
I'm not happy. Sign this agreement. Bezos didn't want a pictures published.
Amazon chose to walk away.
There was no collusion whatsoever.
Everybody was wrong.
Bill Barr is confirmed.
The next attorney general.
I'm going to be signing a national emergency.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Your breaking news and weather station.
Hello.
Okay, so I have Cross Street is Almungus Street.
Been in business now going on 14 years. We have 2 stores located in Elkhart. A lot of the services we offer, the vehicle wraps have just taken off in the last several years. And with that, our business has grown. And when we give you something on a proof, you see it on your vehicle, it's
ALMUNGUS.
a notch above. When you walk into our door, when you engage with anybody on our staff, realize that you're dealing with true professionals and they absolutely love what they do and they want to help you and take care of your needs. Whether it's a small job or whether it's a $5,000 or $10,000 job, I want somebody who walks in and say, I want a $25 t-shirt to feel like you're my $10,000 customer.
Okay, so now somebody else said accident on Yankee just past Niles Pines Trailer Park on the side of the road now.
that their job, no matter how big or
So,
small, is important.
you know what? I'm not even going to mention it anymore because it's on the side of the road. So people, it'll be slow, but it's not stopped.
Okay.
An old way of
If somebody says it's starting to get backed up, I'll go back to it again. But
roll up your sleeves and get to work. Day in and day out, from
if they're moving it out of the way,
placing the steel columns, the very foundation of your build is done by craftsmen who take pride in their work. For more than 40 years, Mid-States Construction has rolled up their sleeves, never wavering on their values and their mission to build their community. And not just building for commercial and industrial, but building relationships. They've partnered with providers for steel, made in America, like Nucor Building Systems, with locations right here in Indiana. When space is an issue,
y'all see that feminists are trying to ban sex dolls now?
And a team with the experience to tell you the difference between
or sex robots, I should say.
Yeah, there's an old way of doing
So it went from feminists going on pretty much every late night show and going, we don't need men anymore. We can have babies without you now.
Construction, but our experience
to women going, feminists going, well, who's going to make your dinner? And now they want to ban the alternative. I think they see the writings on the wall, folks.
I like Susie's baked Alfredo.
I enjoyed the food and all the old pictures on the wall.
They have the best food in town and a wonderful atmosphere.
Yeah, good pizza.
This is a real great place. Very good Italian.
Oh, the pizza's fantastic.
No, I'm not going to talk about Cortez and her boyfriend right now.
I enjoyed the
If it comes up tomorrow, it comes up tomorrow.
Because it's a very authentic Italian.
She's just another socialist guilty of doing the crap she says that she doesn't want people in Washington to do. Says she doesn't want people to be rich and, you know, live in these expensive apartments. She moves into one of the most expensive buildings in D.C. She says she doesn't want cronyism, yet she pays a PAC to pay her boyfriend, which is illegal, $6,000, puts him on her staff. You know, it is what it is.
Call 258-4911. A complete recap of the day's news, sports, and traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 6s. We're back in the morning after 5. Michiana's Morning News on News Talk 95.3 MSC.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. Okay, I've had a couple of people ask me about this, and so I was kind of talking about it in the commercial break there on the live stream. And so I figured I would address it. Well, Benchmade Knives is one of the premier knife companies in the U.S., right? Generally, when you think of automatic knives, you think of Microtech, and then Benchmade's right below, and then you have ProTech. That's generally how it goes. They're very expensive. They're high quality. They're very good knives. They make a very good product for the most part. And well, Benchmade has a lot of government contracts. So a lot of the knives that they sell are sold directly to military and law enforcement. Well, Benchmade helped the Oregon police, I forget which department, Oregon City Police, destroy some guns, and it has people upset. So some people asked me what I thought about it, just because my side gig is I make knives and holsters, and I do holsters for law enforcement. So this is thetruthaboutguns.com. I was tipped off yesterday morning about something of note to gun owners. I was told the Oregon-based Benchmade Knives was destroying firearms for the Oregon City, Oregon Police Department. A post appeared on the OCPD Facebook page, since taken down, with a few images and statements of thanks to Benchmade. So the Oregon City Police posted some pictures of Benchmade destroying firearms, okay? So they said, thank you, Benchmade Knife Company, for assisting us today by cutting up guns that are ready to be destroyed. Now, the images show what appears to be a shotgun and a rifle being destroyed. I would have just opted to give them to some Bubba to have his way with them if I were the police. This is Truth About Guns writing this, okay, not me. Same results, less potential backlash. While nothing particularly valuable was lost here, Benchmade seems to have failed to assess the optics of the situation before agreeing to destroy the guns. The problem here isn't that Benchmade destroyed the guns, I have ruined a few receivers in my time or cut them up when they were unsafe to build a rifle from, but it's that they allowed the police to involve them in their publicity. The Oregon City Police posted this statement to their Facebook page last night explaining that they're required by law to destroy guns that are turned in or used in the commission of crimes. So they said, good evening. We understand some of our followers are upset with Benchmade knives because of the recent post that we put out. The post did not give everyone the full story on why the guns were required to be destroyed. We received the guns that are turned in from community members that they no longer want the guns and want them destroyed. We also have guns that are evidence, and when a case is adjudicated, the guns are ordered by the court to be destroyed. So basically they went to Benchmade because Benchmade had the equipment to do it and had Benchmade destroy the guns. So Truth About Guns says, I contacted Benchmade's PR team and they sent me this statement regarding the destruction of the guns. Benchmade is aware of the recent post from our local Oregon City Police Department. We apologize for the confusion and concern that this post created. These were firearms that the Oregon City Police Department had to destroy in alignment with their policies. Oregon City Police requested the use of specialty equipment within the Benchmade facility to follow these requirements, and as a supporting partner of our local police force, we oblige the request. Benchmade is a proud and unwavering supporter of both law enforcement and the Second Amendment rights, and these are commitments that we do not take lightly and will continue to support well into the future. When asked for clarity from Oregon City Police Department, Chief Jim Band made the following statement. When property is to be destroyed, it is the policy of the Oregon City Police Department to destroy property, including firearms, in accordance with our procedures and ORS. Oregon City Police Department does not sell firearms. Okay. All right. So that's the big crux of this thing. Now, people are really upset about this. I'm not so much, but people are really upset about this because Benchmade is considered one of the premier knife companies in the country, and they do a lot of work with police and military. So why would they support the police in destroying these firearms? And then, of course, Benchmade didn't. I don't know that Benchmade gave them permission to do a post about this. Maybe they did. I don't know. But the police department did. They use Benchmade there. The optics are that Benchmade is destroying guns now. I don't see this as the same thing. This is my opinion now. I don't see this as the same thing as, somebody who's owned guns forever going out there and trying to destroy their firearms. If the police are required by law, whether you agree with the law or not, to destroy these things, well, they've got to have them destroyed somewhere. And if Benchmade, already a partner and likely has a contract with that department anyway, has the equipment to do it, why not have Benchmade do it? I'm sure Benchmade made a little scratch off of it. It's not like the police said, we don't like guns, we want them off the street, can you destroy these things? And Benchmade's like, yeah, totally, we hate guns too. We want people to buy more knives. That's not what happened. At least that's not what seems to have happened. So Benchmade wasn't taking a stand against the Second Amendment by aiding the local police department in destroying the guns. However, many who contacted me, and this is thetruthaboutguns.com, raised questions about the company's political support for anti-gun politicians. According to OpenSecrets.com, Benchmade has made political contributions to a number of politicians over the years, and they've been trending in one particular direction. So if you look at their money, they have donated to 4 Democrats, 3 Republicans. The Democrats get way more money. Okay? Now, here's the thing, though. Benchmade, I'm going to make the same argument that I made with Donald Trump in New York. Benchmade is in Oregon. Oregon is a blue state. And if you are going to do business in Oregon and want some influence, you are going to give money to the most influential people in Oregon. And why not? Whoever's in power there, right now it's Democrats. So why wouldn't you give money to those if you feel that you can sway their opinion on things? There's a lot of, excuse me, there's a lot of knife legislation that is being introduced and considered at the federal level that would require the support of members of the House and the Senate. Now, they gave $12,900 to Ron Wyden, who's a Democrat of Oregon. They gave $11,900 to Kurt Schrader, who is a Democrat of Oregon in the House of Representatives. Mark Udall, Democrat of Colorado, $5,200. Martin Heinrich, Democrat of New Mexico, $2,700. So, and you know, it goes down the list. They start getting into the Republicans there. But there's a lot of legislation being considered. They're trying to overturn the switchblade law. Now, the switchblade law is an old, archaic law that says that you can't transfer switchblades in a sale across state lines unless it's to military or law enforcement, which doesn't make any sense because if you have a state where you can sell them and you have another state where you can sell them, why can't they sell them together? But you can, but only if you're a business. And then even then, there's weird restrictions. It's very, very silly, right? And it's not enforced. So it's an obsolete law that has to go away to avoid any potential conflict. So they're going to be spending money on these people trying to buy influence to get them to change some of these laws. So I don't fault them for doing that. But some of these politicians don't have good feelings for the Second Amendment at all. But that doesn't mean if you're benchmade, you don't try to have influence by paying some money. You pay some money, you get some FaceTime. Getting some FaceTime, maybe you can educate the politician. If you can educate the politician, maybe you can change their mind. You know, this is kind of how it goes. I get the optics. I get how it looks. I'm not so sure I would jump on the bandwagon to hate on Benchmade so fast. And by the way, for the record, I don't sell much Benchmade. I haven't been a dealer of theirs in a couple of years. So it really doesn't affect my business in any way, shape, or form. Just in case you were curious, if I was sticking up for somebody who's making me money, that's not the case. All right, we got more money. I wish I had more money. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. MNC News Time is 4:31. Time to check out Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online at mastersheatcool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's.
I forgot to tell you, you're supposed to use thermodyne coming out of that race because
I was busy with I see. Thermodyne.
But also, my name Mark Colon. It's part of my nightmaker group. Is like to talk to you / would like to join their group. He gave me his number.
Okay. Going to have a grind in. Yeah. Grind in. That reminds me, is mine even sharp anymore? I lost it forever. Well, I should say I didn't lose it. Certain individuals lose my stuff. It needs to be sharpened. I beat the tar out of this thing. So. It's still sharp, but it needs to be sharpened.
Representative is on the list, saying many GOP House members are coming to realize that, quote, life in the minority with
'Tis been a while.
isn't worth the hassle, end quote.
Let's see if I can gene sharpen it.
Not ready to think about the 2020 election just yet, but says he isn't going to fall for the committee's bait. Only 6 members of Congress on 2018's 16-member list are still in the House, with the other 10 choosing to retire or being voted out of office.
All right, well, I don't know if you've ever seen the SPKT. This one is a beat-up jank version of it.
Roger Stone, longtime advisor to President Trump, where he apologized to the judge overseeing his case today.
Ignore the powder coat and how it's clearly used.
What are these?
You can paracord wrap it if you want. You can put handles on it if you want.
He is not allowed to do that through third parties or surrogates.
Bottle opener with a pry bar / flathead screwdriver.
Oh, yeah.
I've kind of gone to I do a cold blue on them all now, and I do everything so there's no white on the tip.
Weather sponsored by
the Prime Table Kid. We have the best kids menu.
Oh, okay. School bus crash. Great. And the bus driver's been arrested.
Ooh.
The word her and Owen have been mentioned.
Ooh.
Mostly sunny with a high
Double
of
not
42. Rain returns on Saturday, and Sunday looks windy. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs.
News protected by CDC, your single source for personal protection. Visit them on 3rd Street in Goshen and check out their full line of quality handguns, shotguns, rifles, accessories.
Oh, wow. New Jersey school bus driver overdoses on drugs, crashes with 12 students aboard. Yo.
Not injured.
Damn.
Visit them online at cxgun.com. Protect yourself and loved ones today at CXGun.
Don't let winter affect your golf game. Get 50% off Swing Suite rentals for Blackthorn Topgolf Swing Suite at My Deals, Michiana. Plus, Blackthorn Topgolf Swing Suite offers more than just golf. Play virtual baseball, football, hockey, and zombie dodgeball with a group of family, friends, or coworkers. With a full bar, restaurant, and more, Blackthorn Topgolf Swing Suite is perfect for every occasion. Be part of the best deal in Michiana and get 50% off your Swing Suite rental at MyDealsMichiana.com. That's MyDealsMichiana.com.
The Fox Business Report, powered by Home Comfort Experts, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Keep your hardworking furnace running smooth with the tune-up today. Call 255-4600.
From the Fox Business Network, on Wall Street, the major averages closing in the red on weak economic data, which is raising growth concerns among...
For better or worse, I destroyed firearms for the SBPD when I worked at a local foundry.
4 points, the Nasdaq 29, snapping an 8-session winning streak. S&P 500 down 10. And shares...
You know, I mean, if they have to be destroyed, and
I think it's better than just leaving them in an evidence locker.
they have to get rid of them somehow.
Especially if the case is closed and there's no reason for them to be.
And that's what it is, basically. Yeah, they can't
be used again.
The law is pretty clear; they can't distribute them. So, yeah, I don't have a big issue. If I were Benchmade, I'd probably say next time just leave us out of it, just for the public optics of it. But no, I'm not upset with Benchmade over that.
I was like thinking about well, can't use a gun. Buy our knives. But also realistically, it's what are you gonna do with them? They're just sitting there in evidence lockers, collecting dust.
And they already have the contract, so just do it.
They service fire protection equipment, deliver and stock restroom supplies, and make sure facilities are clean and ready. Because when all those things work together, you're in business. Oh, I'm ready! Get Cintas and get ready for the workday.
Hi, I'm Dwayne Miller with Good Faith Management, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast and for a fair price, call me at 574-621-3277. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and in any location. I am not a realtor or associated with any realty company. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. Call me at 574-621-3277. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind employment houses. I even buy the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying damaged houses too. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 574-621-3277 for a cash offer today. That's 574-621-3277.
Are you overpaying Uncle Sam? Will you pay more taxes than necessary when you retire? Surveys show that most American adults get an F in understanding income tax basics. And while investors are concerned about rising taxes, most aren't doing anything about it. This is Casey Weed, certified financial planner practitioner. When I got my start as a financial advisor, I was really just a trained salesperson. But I soon realized there aren't many guarantees in the financial world, and selling another financial product added little value to my client's bottom line. The only guarantee she's going to get in life
I get to talk about one of my favorite cases, the Alolaki killing.
see how the new tax laws can benefit your bottom line. These tax planning opportunities are only expected
Because it gets to come up again when we are talking about the ISIS bride.
Start planning before it's too late. 866-482-9559. 866-482-9559.
Advisory services may be on.
Because everybody was out there. You can't kill an American citizen with a drone. Yes, you can.
Consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstances.
You can't revoke a U.S. citizenry. Yes, you can.
News Talk 95. Michiana's news channel. Casey Hendrickson.
And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95-3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. Somebody sent me a text, said, hey, that crash on Yankees all cleaned up. So there you go. We appreciate the updates. It is all taken care of. Somebody also sent me a text, says, for better or worse, I destroyed firearms for the SBPD when I worked at a local foundry. And here's the thing, like, I get the optics with Benchmade knives, and I get why people are upset. And if I were Benchmade, I would politely ask that the Oregon City Police Department not mention them with firearm destruction in the future. But those guns are going to be destroyed. They have to be destroyed by state law. So there's no getting around that. Somebody's going to destroy them. Benchmade has the equipment to do it safely, and Benchmade already has a contract with the department. So it makes sense for them to already use a vendor that can do it and can do it properly without having to find somebody else and cost the taxpayers more money. So I get the optics, I really do, but I'm totally not mad at Benchmade for this, based on the information that I have anyway. If there's additional information that comes out, then who knows, maybe that opinion will change. All right. The ISIS bride. She wants to come back into the United States. I think her parents are saying that they want the kid that she just had. So this is the girl. She left. She joined ISIS. She got married. I don't know if her husband's dead or what. Probably. Pretty much everybody in ISIS is dead now. I hope America doesn't think I'm a threat to them, says Hoda Muthana to ABC News. You hope America doesn't think that you're a threat. You are. You left the United States to join ISIS and have their babies. You're a threat. 100%. The president has come out there and said, nope, you ain't getting back in. Not going to happen. U.S. has denied her reentry. In her first on-camera interview with ABC News, what would have given us that idea? The fact that she ran off to join ISIS 5 years ago and only now is coming back after their collapse. Interesting. On her Twitter campaign urging Muslims in the U.S. to go on drive-bys and spill all of their blood. I remember her doing that. She also thinks that she might deserve some punishment, but that it should be in the form of counseling. Jail time, she says, has a worse effect on people. Hence why it's a bad idea to go join terrorists and foment attacks on your own country, writes Ed Morrissey for hotair.com. Now, here's what's interesting. She thinks that jail is a negative. The heck does she think that ISIS was doing to people, imprisoning them, torturing them, and then murdering them? But now she said, no, jail's bad. You don't want to do jail. It's just, not gonna help anybody out. She's 24 years old. She told ABC News that she felt shame hearing of the tweets that she posted when she was a part of ISIS. I was still at the peak of being brainwashed, I guess, and had people all around me that were just widowed. So we were very angry. Well, they were just widowed because they went up against the greatest fighting force in human history, and they lost. Because we were all just young girls married for the first time, most of us. It was our first relationships, and then he just suddenly died. Yeah, that happens when you fight Americans. I can't even believe I thought of that, she says. She expressed remorse and regret about her social media posts inciting violence in the name of Islam and ISIS. I wish I could take it completely off the net, completely out of people's memory. You could do that if you went to Europe. You have that right to be forgotten law. She says she regrets it. I hope America doesn't think that I'm a threat to them. We do. And I hope that they can accept me. We won't. And I'm just a normal human being. You're not. Who's been manipulated once. No. And hopefully never again. Don't really care. It won't be here. So this is so the president said, yeah, no, you're not coming back in. The president made it very clear. You're not going to come back in. And so Mike Pompeo says, no wonder she's asking to come to the U.S. She's not a U.S. citizen after all. So Kevin Corke reported, American ISIS bride is not a U.S. citizen and will not be admitted into the U.S. She does not have any legal basis, no valid passport, no right to a passport, nor any visa to travel to the U.S. Okay. She was born in the U.S., Cork explains further, but the parents here we're here on a diplomatic mission that negates birthright citizenship. So she will have to go back to Yemen. American prison might have been a better choice, but at any rate, she won't have a choice at all. Her family insists that she is a U.S. citizen. So her family insists she's a U.S. citizen, but just being born here doesn't grant you citizenship. Now, we've talked about birthright citizenship before. This is not the same as that debate. If you come to the United States and you are a diplomat for a foreign power, if you are here on a diplomatic mission, you do not get those additional rights. You are considered to be on the sovereign land of your home nation, right? So if you're an ambassador from Yemen and you come to the United States and you have a child in the United States, your kid is not American. So the family's like, no, she's totally American, which they're trying to save her life is what they're trying to do. But because she goes to Yemen, she's going to probably be in trouble. But this is this is interesting. She wants to come back to the United States now that everybody's dead and ISIS is on the run. But yeah, we're not going to let her back in. So she's not U.S. She's not a citizen. Plus, you can lose your citizenship. I talked about this with the Al-Awlaki killing back in 2008 when Obama droned him to death, and I supported the president in doing that. And a bunch of people like Ron and Rand Paul and some others were like, you can't do that. Yes, you can. You can absolutely lose your citizenship. If you run off and join an enemy of the United States, you can have your citizenship, even if you're a naturally born U.S. citizen, totally revoked. And there is a whole bunch of laws in place to allow that to happen. So I have that old post actually pulled up just in case anybody wanted to challenge me on it. But her parents were here on a diplomatic mission anyway, so she doesn't get birthright citizenship. You got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Weather sponsored by the Prime Table Restaurant in Niles, where there's a favorite for everyone.
My favorite is the hamburgers. My favorite is
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialists, 5-day forecast.
The forecast is quiet as we end the week, but the weekend is...
Who doesn't want to go to Yemen?
With a high of 42, a nice day.
It's not like they're torn apart by a civil war or anything. Oh, look at Jesse Smollett leaving the courthouse.
Right now,
look at him running. Oh!
Saturday night. Sunday temperatures will crash, falling from 40, rain changing to snow and wind gusts.
Look at that white van blocking them in. Racist white van.
Fall to the 30s going into Monday, staying cold with a chance of snow showers by Tuesday of next week with a high of 34. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Coon.
95.3 MNC is live on all your listening devices, on the radio at 95.3 FM, on the computer at 95.3mnc.com, on your smartphone when you download the 95.3 MNC app, and now on Alexa when you tell her to enable the 95.3 MNC skill. Your top news, traffic, and weather, and the #1 talk show lineup in Michiana, anytime, everywhere. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel, your breaking news and weather station.
Hi, my name is Dave Anderson. I've been selling new cars at Lock Monday Motors for over 30 years.
And I'm Greg Slabaugh. I've been selling pre-owned vehicles at Lock Monday Motors for 16 years.
Greg and I have been working together a long time, and every year there's a lot of excitement at tax time.
Yeah, that's right. We have so many vehicles, we are running out of places to park.
We have a tremendous offering of the new Jeep, Ram, Chrysler, Dodge, Buick, and GMC models. The only stock the best and most desirable premium brands.
We have all makes and models of pre-owned vehicles, something for every need and every budget.
There are a lot of options for what you can do with your tax return. Buying a new or pre-owned vehicle from Lock Monday Motors is the best way to make that dollar go further and get more for your money.
Using that money as a down payment lowers your monthly payment. You could be driving something newer or better than you are right now for a lower payment.
Lock Monday Motors' values of honesty and integrity are evident to customers and employees alike. That's why so many of us have been here for so long and have customers that come back over and over for all their vehicle needs.
Shop the inventory right now at LockMondayMotors.com.
I'm Dave Anderson.
And I'm Greg Slabaugh. Visit Lock Monday Motors in Elkhart, a tradition of caring since 1954.
Attention all camping and RV enthusiasts. The 8th annual Michiana Camping and RV Show will be held at the Michiana Event Center February 22nd through the 24th. Shop hundreds of RVs from the best RV manufacturers at factory direct pricing. Find the best deals on RVs, travel trailers, fifth wheels, motorhomes, park models, and much more at the Michiana Camping and RV Show. Friday and Saturday, February 22nd and 23rd from 10 until 8, and Sunday, February 24th from 11 until 5. Manufacturer representatives will be working with dealers such as Wana RV, Richards RV Sales, Extreme RV, D. Showalter RV, Goshen RV Center, and Park Model Connection will get you the best deals. Check out many vendors selling camping supplies, campground packages, RV parts, aftermarket upgrades, and more. It's the Michiana Camping and RV Show at the Michiana Event Center, February 22nd through the 24th. Go online to MichianaEvents.com for more information.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did it become okay for men to be lazier, softer, fatter? We need to bring the men of this country back to greatness. And it's easier than ever with Ageless Male Max, a patent-pending formula with an ingredient that helps boost your total testosterone, promoting greater increases in muscle size and twice the reduction of body fat percentage than exercise alone. Plus, an amazing 64% increase in nitric oxide, which can be handy in the gym and in the bedroom. Take your manhood to the max by trying your first 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling. Not 10 days, not 15 days, but a full 30-day supply free when you text the word FAST to 797979. Finally, a formula that boosts total testosterone. If your results with Ageless Male Max are too intense, please decrease use. For your free bottle, text FAST to 797979. Text FAST to 797979.
No, I don't think he would take an interview with them.
Like the new
Not at all.
Club we built at Beardsley Elementary School in Elkhart. Or the
Oh, hey,
breakfast
there's the full phone.
Beardsley and other areas
There it is.
to elevate the role of dads and mentors in kids' lives.
It has 6 cameras.
Why?
I don't know. I didn't read the thing. I just know it has 6 cameras,
DJ Construction, building into our community.
which I'm sure is most of the price.
It's excessive.
Of course it is. Aren't all smartphones? I mean, that's extra excessive, but
Yes, they're all excessive, but this is extra excessive.
think of all you could do with it. Like, make it into a kite, use it as a ballistic shield. Oh, could do so much. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. I got to tell you about Data Bunker. So here's the deal. I've talked about Data Bunker for some time now, and I was super excited when they came on board. First of all, Data Bunker is made right here in America. Data Bunker is made from clean electronics, and Data Bunker is made in Elkhart. Nobody else does this, okay? This is a genuine, literal black box that you control. Just like you have in planes and trains. The company that makes Data Bunker makes the black boxes that you see in planes and trains. So we all know that they survive, tremendous tragedies, and the data survives, and they can go ahead and use the black box data to decipher what happened in those events. A Data Bunker is designed to do that, be that resilient, but protect your personal files. Everybody has files that they need to protect. I know sometimes we don't think that we do, but if you go to FEMA's website, they have a list of documents that will make rebuilding your life after a tragedy or a natural disaster much easier. And if you have those files with you, you're going to get your aid quicker. You're going to get your insurance payments quicker. You're going to be able to go ahead and start rebuilding your life quicker, including finding residences, food, clothing. All of that stuff is going to happen much quicker if you have those documents to prove who you are and ownership and valuables and all of that. So most of us have paper backups. Some of us have disks or thumb drives that are backups. All of those things are fragile. And in a natural disaster, it could destroy all of that stuff. Our home burns down. No thumb drive is going to survive. Your disks aren't going to survive. Your papers aren't going to survive unless you're absolutely lucky. But your Data Bunker will survive. And then all you have to do is plug it in, pull off those critical documents, show them to the appropriate authorities, and you're going to be able to build your life back up without any of the usual headaches of trying to track them all down and wait for those agencies to reissue those documents to you. Go to Data Bunker 1. That's Data Bunker and the number 1.com. The Data Bunker is tornado proof, flood proof, hurricane proof, earthquake proof. It is fireproof, and it is even survived nuclear EMP testing. You can go check out some of the stuff that they do to test the Data Bunker on their website. Again, Data Bunker 1. That is the number 1.com, and use coupon code Casey. All right. What do we have here? Somebody asked me, Casey, if you have a kid in an embassy, how does that work? Well, basically, if a child is born in an embassy on U.S. soil, that child is not an American citizen unless that child is born to an American citizen. Okay. Now, if you are overseas and an American citizen gives birth, so let's say somebody is over in France, but they're Americans and they give birth in France, that kid is an American citizen. Now, they might have dual citizenship depending on the laws of the nation that they were born in, but they will definitely be an American citizen. In the United States, if your parents or one of your parents is an American, you're automatically an American by birthright. Okay, it doesn't matter where you're born in the world. However, if you are in the United States on a diplomatic mission and a child is born in the United States on a diplomatic mission, that child is not extended citizenship to this country. So the parents are trying to say that the ISIS bride does have U.S. citizenship. She does not, because they were here on a diplomatic mission. They were not here on a normal visitation or something of that nature. So, but again, they're trying to fight for their daughter's life, because if their daughter goes to Yemen, there's a good chance that, it's not going to be pleasant. So the parents have also asked to take the child. So that way, if she does go to prison, that they will raise the child away from her. That is their goal. Another text message, Casey, with these new developments about Smollett and the bad name that he has given gays and demographics, the mayor needs to resign, withdraw his candidacy. Seems a little ridiculous, but nope. I don't think there's no reason to. I don't even know what Mayor Buttigieg has said about Smollett. But no, that makes no sense. No sense at all. All right. 574-2595, 95.3. That's 2595-953. To the phone lines we go. Lisa, welcome to the program.
Hi.
Hi there.
So I'm just calling to kind of debunk a little bit what you just said about any child being born to a parent of a United States citizen anywhere abroad is automatically a citizen. That was my assumption as well. However, because I left the United States before my 19th birthday.
Oh, there is the age thing.
I took up residency in another country, and I married there and was going to have my family there. However, I found out 3 months before giving birth to our first child that if she were to be born there, I would have to adopt her, or I would have to apply for permanent residency, and she would have to naturalize.
I had forgotten about the age thing.
Yes. So
yeah, and I don't know the details of the age thing. So I'm glad you called.
Yeah. So yeah, there are some little details that one must know when you're abroad. You can't just assume that, as I did.
Now that only applies if you're under a certain age, though, right? Or is
Correct, because I took up a foreign residency before my 19th birthday.
Before you're considered old enough.
Yes.
Got it.
And
okay.
I was not military or government or anything like that.
Yeah, you just moved there. Right. Okay. I had
Correct.
forgotten about that provision. And so 100% glad that you called, because I do. Yeah, that's true. I remember that. I've discussed that in the past, and it just slipped my mind.
Okay. Yep. So I took an airplane ride home a month before my due date, so that our daughter would not have to go through all of that.
That way you didn't have to worry about it. There you go.
That's right. Yes. All right. Have a good afternoon.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right. Take care. That's right. I did forget there was an age thing in there. And again, the details of it, I don't have right in front of me, but I do remember talking about that several times. So yes, she is absolutely right. All right. 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. We have a white supremacist who had a kill list who was found in the Coast Guard. We'll talk about that And we've got some more local issues to deal with in the upcoming hour as well. We are live streaming on youtube.com/CaseyTheHost or facebook.com/CaseyTheHost. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on that like button and also click the bell icon so you get notified when I upload a new video. Boy, did the Supreme Court embarrass the state of Indiana today. All of that and more in the next hour.
WTRC-FM and HD1. Niles, South Bend, Elkhart.
Your top stories right now. He planned it all. Brady, Fox News. That's the allegation from Illinois prosecutors against Empire actor Jussie Smollett, accused of plotting a hate crime attack by two acquaintances. Telling them
All right, when we do the YouTube chat.
Smollett asked Ola if he could trust him. When Ola said he could, Smollett detailed his plans of the attack to the brothers.
The timeline offered by Cook County DA Risa Lanier is based on what the brothers told investigators.
Defendant Smollett also included that he wanted Ola to place a rope around his neck, pour gasoline on him, and yell, "This is MAGA country."
The judge telling Smollett that if true, it's outrageous.
He did bleach instead of the gasoline.
Free on bond. Smollett's attorney.
This is not what I paid for.
President Trump, former advisor.
He gave him $500. Seriously, the dollar store has the clothesline. And the only reason I know it is because I was in the dollar store and I went, huh, they have clothesline. Made no sense.
I will return. After Stone posted a message on Instagram showing the judge Jesus next to her. In court, Stone apologized for the posting, but argued he did not review the photograph and never intended to threaten the judge. Stone has pleaded not guilty to charges of lying to Congress and witness tampering. Last week, the judge issued a limited gag order preventing Stone from discussing the case near the courthouse. Lisa.
Thanks, Jared. A new election just ordered in a disputed congressional race in North Carolina. And Republican Mark Harris, who had appeared to be the winner, supports the decision.
Through the testimony I've listened to over the past 3 days, I believe a new election should be called.
His own son telling the state elections board yesterday that he warned his father about using a political operative suspected of ballot tampering. This is Fox News.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. Michiana's News Channel on 95.3 FM, the 95.3 MNC skill on Alexa, 95.3MNC.com.
I'm John Zimney in the MNC News Center. Among our top stories this afternoon, tests have revealed that a 10-year-old child in Elkhart died as a result of ingesting methamphetamine.
The Elkhart County Prosecutor's Office says the young girl was initially believed to have died of natural causes related to bowel obstruction and internal complications. That was the determination after an initial autopsy in June of last year. Subsequent toxicology testing shows her blood had high levels of methamphetamine, and criminal negligence charges were filed earlier this month against Erica Rechty and Brandon Hobbs of Cassopolis. They had brought the child and a younger sibling to the home where she gained access to the drug. Both face trial on May 6th.
That's 95.3 MNC's Darren Wright reporting. A man wanted in connection to several bank robberies in South Bend and one in Michigan has been arrested.
Hey, holy shit. Hello, you are at McDonald's. I'm begging for your patience.
And the Fifth Third branch on Main Street and the First Source branch on South Michigan Street in January. Fox was picked up by South Bend police detectives on Wednesday. And the man killed earlier this week in a crash near New Paris has been identified as an 18-year-old from Warsaw. Annalisa Calderon was behind the wheel of a car that went off the road, hit a guardrail, and then fled. Police say Calderon was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the vehicle. She was pronounced dead at the scene.
Weather served up by the Prime Table restaurant in Niles. Get together with friends for breakfast or lunch every week. Call the Prime Table today.
Now, your home comfort experts, heating specialist, first warning forecast.
Fair this afternoon, temperatures near a little breezy. The wind will calm overnight and temperatures cool towards 20.
I hate being a debt collector.
Fair day.
I hate being a debt collector.
42. Rain returns on Saturday and Sunday.
Most people pay me.
Oh, because
Neighborhood Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist.
Most people pay me.
Skies are overcast.
I've had pretty good luck, actually.
How does yours, is it like half up front and then
you know, no, generally, so like if I'm doing a distributor, sometimes it's a net 30. So a net 30 means they have to pay you within 30 days. And that's standard in business if you're doing large shipments. If it's a retail location and it's just wholesale, I want to be paid up front. But occasionally, if you're trying to get into a new place, they'll ask for consignment. And I've only done it one time, and that's the account I'm getting burned on. And it's mildly irritating. I'm not losing a lot because it was only like 4 knives, but it's like, right. Especially when I've said, you know, trade will work. If you don't have the cash, that's cool. Just trade me something you got.
Perfect time to take advantage. Big savings are available with unlimited monthly car wash packages starting at just $15.95. Visit one of their locations or go to partnerautospy.com for more details. And don't forget our new app with new and exciting things coming throughout the year.
How come there's only like in the standard match UFC only has 3 rounds, and then in boxing it's like
good at both of their locations.
One, it is a lot more difficult to do MMA per round. Much more energy. I don't know the reason they did the 3 rounds for their standards, because Pride did more rounds. Or Pride actually had for a while unlimited rounds. UFC kind of did that for a while too. So where they arrived at that number, I don't know the history of it. I think there's a fighter safety element that's involved. But the total specifics,
The average smoker tries to quit up to
I was just
30
at a sports
times.
bar.
Many are looking for an alternative.
With my friends for
Juul
lunch.
was designed by smokers for smokers.
What's that?
To be a
I was at
satisfying alternative
like a
to
sports
cigarettes.
bar with
Juul
place
is a
for
vapor product that contains
one of my
nicotine
friends
for
who
a
came home from
satisfying
college
transition.
for lunch
If
on
you're one
Sunday,
of the 34
and they
million
had
adults who
just like
smoke, know
exhibition
that there
matches
is an alternative
for
to
UFC,
cigarettes.
and I was like, okay, cool.
Make
We're
the
actually
switch
taking
at
time to actually watch
Juul.com.
it.
That's JUUL.com.
Cassettes.
Warning: this product contains
And I was like,
nicotine.
they're only 3 rounds. And like I knew they were longer rounds, but I wasn't aware that they were only 3 rounds.
I think it's based more in like kickboxing's rule. But as somebody who boxed and did MMA, it is way more energy in an MMA round than a boxing round. Makes sense. Lots more. Yeah. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-2595-95.3. That is 2595-953. You can also send a text message to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that message. I do want to thank our sponsor, Second Amendment Arms and Range, the Guns and Everything Outdoor Spring Show. Is brought to you by Trap and Fool and Second Amendment Arms and Range. That is happening Saturday, March 2nd and March 3rd, 9 a.m. at the Crown Event Center in New Carlisle. Again, admission's $5. Kids under 12 are free. So if you love the outdoors, hunting, fishing, trapping, archery, all of that, this is the show for you. There are door prizes as well. If you want to set up a vendor booth, you can contact Paul at secondamendmentarms.net to go ahead and arrange that. All right, so let's take a look at situation. I thought I saved the article. Maybe I didn't save the article. Thought I did. There we go. I did save it. All right, so this Coast Guard situation. We're going to get to the Supreme Court and the state of Indiana, which is a case that I've been following for some time and laughing about it with you. But we'll get to that here at 5:30. Former Coast Guard lieutenant, a self-proclaimed white nationalist. I had heard white supremacist earlier. So maybe that terminology wasn't used. We'll find out. Self-proclaimed white nationalist was arrested in Maryland after police seized firearms and evidence that he was planning to commit domestic terrorism. And again, the news outlets and media personnel are doing everything they can to get you to talk about this today and not Jussie Smollett, who just bailed himself out of jail. We talked about Smollett in the 3 o'clock hour. We'll talk about this in the 5 o'clock hour. Christopher Paul Hassan A former U.S. Coast Guard lieutenant had amassed a stockpile of firearms, was reading a manifesto from far-right terrorist Anders Behring Breivik, who murdered 77 people in Norway in 2011, and created a spreadsheet of people that he planned to target, according to court documents. The list included House Majority Leader Nancy Pelosi, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Senator Blumenjew. That is a direct quote. Now, I've heard people say worse things about Jews who still have Twitter accounts. Jack. Anyway, I like how they say Senator Blumenjew, believed to be Senator Richard Blumenthal. Yeah, you think? And MSNBC host Joe Scarborough. Oh, God. This is going to go to his head. We're going to have to listen to Scarborough talk about this for the next, 3 months, about how he was targeted by a terrorist. Scarborough was allegedly added to the list after he called President Donald Trump the worst ever, according to court documents. The Post reported that Hassan called for focused violence in order to establish a white homeland. He also wrote, "I am dreaming of a way to kill almost every last person on Earth." Well, which one do you want? Do you want a white homeland or do you want to kill everybody? Can't have both, right? Right, Joe? The math doesn't work out that way. He also searched for, quote, best place in D.C. to see Congress people. Are Supreme Court justices protected? And where is Morning Joe filmed? Scarborough, of course, is the host of Morning Joe. Hassan was arrested last Friday by Baltimore FBI field office and Coast Guard Investigative Services. The arrest was first reported by Seamus Hughes, a former senior counterterrorism advisor to the Senate Homeland Security Committee and U.S. Government Intelligence Policy Officer, who now works for the Program on Extremism at George Washington University. Hughes reported that Hassan was initially arrested for drug and gun charges, but that case quickly turned. That's a new word. We should use that. Let's see. It looks like a run-of-the-mill case until the detention memo filed yesterday. He had a hit list, contacts with white supremacists, guns, and again, was a coastie assigned to HQ, Hughes tweeted out. He was also provided screenshots of the court documents to provide verification of all of this. This has now since been confirmed by authorities, so it's not in debate. Hassan, according to the affidavit, drafted a letter to a known American neo-Nazi leader in which he described himself as a white nationalist for over 30 years. He sent himself the letter 7 weeks after the Charlottesville alt-right rally, which left one counter-protester dead. I don't like people attributing that as an alt-right rally because it wasn't. There was an alt-right rally that was there in response to an Antifa rally, and then there was two other groups of non-radicals who had differing opinions of the statues. But people keep trying to say this whole Charlottesville thing started off as an alt-right rally. It did not. And the police have confirmed all of that too, by the way. At the time of Hassan's arrest, police seized 15 firearms and more than 1,000 rounds of ammo, which isn't a lot of ammo, actually. Hassan was living in a cramped basement apartment. Oh, he's a basement dweller. Shocked. I'm shocked that he's a basement dweller. In Silver Spring, Maryland, according to court documents, authorities also discovered a cache of various steroids and narcotics. Now, Breivik, the Norwegian terrorist, took such items to enhance his ability to commit his attacks. Too bad he didn't take any cognitive medication. When law enforcement raided Hassan's apartment, they said that they found a locked container loaded with more than 30 vials of what appeared to be human growth hormones. He also ordered more than 4,200 pills of the narcotic tramadol. I have tramadol right now. It doesn't do anything for me. Like nothing. So can I get some of this, guys? Maybe it's stronger. Nobody's using it now, right? He's not using it. How do you get 4,200 pills of this stuff? Anyway, probably Mexico. Border wall. He also had synthetic urine to allegedly bypass possible random drug screenings at work. Yashar Ali, reporter for the New York Magazine, Huffington Post, tweeted out a list of people that he had as targets, which included most of the announced Democratic 2020 presidential candidates and numerous MSNBC, CNN personalities. Was Buttigieg on the list? I don't know if he was. Hold on a second. No, Buttigieg didn't make the list. Sorry, bud. I'm always disappointed when I'm not on a terrorist hit list. When they come out and they have the media hit list and I'm not on there, I'm always sad. So I just wanted to make sure that I gave the mayor his appropriate attention. Hassan had allegedly been planning some kind of an attack for years, writing in a draft email in 2017 that he was considering a bombing sniper campaign. Considering it. Yeah, so there's that. And he's been arrested, thank God. Now, he's been talking about this for years. He didn't do it. Again, thank God. But years ago, it was uncovered that various groups infiltrate the military. Now, if you're trying to get tactical training in the United States, the best way to do that is to join the military. Again, greatest fighting force ever assembled. Our conventional army is better than any conventional army out there. There are other elite forces that are really, really good and on par, better than some of our units. But then we have elite units beyond that. Even the SAS says Delta is the best team in the world. The only people who don't say Delta is the best team in the world are SEALs, and they're wrong. So now, if you want that tactical training, you join the U.S. military, period. That's what you do. And so you have various groups that do this. Here's some of the groups that we have caught. I'm just using like general, not specific groups. We have a lot of white supremacists that have done this over the years, mostly the militia members in various states that have some of the militias that are racist militias. Now, a lot of states have militias that work with local governments and are not racist in any way, shape, or form and are recognized as a great support entity for local authorities. But there are states that have these racist militias that exist, right? So those people have joined the military to get training. We know that white supremacists have joined the military to get training. We know that gang members have joined the military to get training. And we also know that cartel members have joined the military to get training. Now, we're not just talking about Mexican military, we're talking about the American military as well. So it does happen. It absolutely happens. He was in the Coast Guard. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Coast Guard has got one of the best counterterrorism teams in the entire world. Nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it. And I'm telling you right now, they are phenomenal. They put a lot of the so-called conventional forces units to shame. They are just stellar at what they do. And the fact that they have flown under the radar for this long just is a testament to that, to be honest with you. But this guy, for a couple of years has been trying to do this thing. I don't know if he just didn't have what he felt he needed to pull it off or he kept chickening out. Either way, we're glad it didn't happen and he got caught. All right, got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Weather served up by the prime table.
It's funny how they can always stop people who are supposed to be targeting liberals at the last second, but they couldn't keep conservatives from getting shot across the street from the White House.
Your home comfort experts, heating specialists.
It's an interesting point.
Forecast is quiet as we end the week.
And then the media said he wasn't targeting them.
Sunshine.
He wasn't targeting Republicans.
42, a nice day.
He was just curious as to who it was he was shooting.
Sunday aren't pretty. Saturday, a high of 48. That comes towards the end of the day with rain moving in. Rain is very likely by Saturday afternoon through Saturday night. Sunday, temperatures will crash, falling from 40. Rain changing to snow, and wind gusts could top 50 miles per hour. Windy on Sunday. Will fall to the 30s going into Monday, staying cold with a chance of snow showers by Tuesday of next week with a high of 34. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs.
The top news stories.
I believe at the end of the day, this wall is going to be built, not sea to shining sea, but about 200 miles.
I will never waver from my sacred duty to defend this nation and its people. We will get the job done. The wall is on its way. It's happening.
Now we're being put at risk because of this crisis that is being manufactured. Nancy Pelosi has run circles around the President of the United States, not once, not twice.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. Your breaking news and weather station. Now, it's time for the taste of craft beer. Chris's Craft Corner with Chris Turnblom.
Welcome to Chris's Craft Corner. Let's have a beer. Today, we've got a fun one. We're going to talk about Saugatuck Brewing Company. One thing that we know about them is they know how to make a stout. They just came out with a new one, a blueberry maple stout. I do not have a bigger pet peeve with craft beer than when something is called something, for example, blueberry maple stout, and I cannot identify all of the things in the title. This beer lives up to everything you could want from...
Oh, yeah, they've been doing it for a long time. You could spot them a mile away, too, Comet. Spot them a mile away. Gang members were in there just to try and learn how to shoot.
Like a good stout should be. Then kind of as you go, you get a real blueberry taste.
So there's evidence, though. There's not much you can do about it.
Fruity blueberry flavor. It's like just like if you ate a blueberry. Now it's not overly sweet. And then as you go, just like syrup on the pancakes, you get a great maple finish. You get that little trickle of the maple syrup, essentially, which is just enough sweetness. And this is all kind of balanced out with stronger yeast that gives it a heartier texture. So it's like you've had a pancake with it. It's a lot of fun to drink. So you look at this packaging and you see a big lumberjack who's got a mug of beer and a plate full of blueberry pancakes. Hopefully it'll be around for a long time. Places like Saugatuck, these are small local craft brewers who have a hard enough time keeping up with just their regular staples. So when they come out with something fun like this, they're going to do their best to keep it around for a long time. But make sure you get this one.
All right. So where did this go?
This has been Chris's Craft Corner. Thanks for sharing a beer with me. Now go share one with someone else.
Look for the craft beers Chris talks about and listen to Chris's Craft Corner on MNC.
The look of your building, outside and inside, says a lot about you. Whether it's for a thriving business, your hobby, storing your sports equipment, or just the place you call home, that building holds something special.
Oh, yeah.
The look goes beyond just...
Should probably give you an update on the Mueller thing.
Instead, efficiency and style are what make up the look.
Do you remember that utterly laughable case involving Indiana with excessive fines in the Supreme Court? And how we read the oral arguments and laughed and laughed and laughed, and I may have wet myself a little bit because it was so funny. And, well, that case finally got a ruling, and it was, I mean, it was a doozer. It was a huge doozer.
So if you want your new construction project to tell others you are about excellence, visit workholderbuildings.com.
Indiana's health rankings keep falling. Smoking is hurting our workforce and our economy, making it harder to find the workers that Indiana needs to stay competitive with other states.
When it comes to Indiana's health and smoking rates, we rank among the worst in the nation, with Kentucky, Alabama, and Mississippi.
It's embarrassing, and an unhealthy workforce is an expensive workforce.
This issue affects all Hoosiers, from our smallest children to our biggest businesses.
That's why health and business leaders agree that we should raise the cigarette tax.
A $2 cigarette tax will spur over 70,000 Hoosiers to quit smoking and generate $300 million.
No, I don't think he was either.
Lives and money.
I just, when I talk about the Coast Guard, I like to give them some props.
It's time to make Indiana the best state it can be.
Sorry, that's Facebook.
Workers, and kids. It's time for a $2.
Yeah, I don't. I agree with you, Warren. I don't think he was either.
Learn more at raiseitforhealth.com. Sponsored by Raise It for Health.
Weaver Heating and Cooling is your local...
I think they would have weeded him out pretty darn quick. Negative. Haven't even thought about it. Wasn't even sure today was Thursday.
Can cause a lot of damage, and you just spend a lot of money for a new furnace. And if you don't maintain it, it's not going to break down when it's warm. It's going to break down when it's cold.
Give Weaver Heating and Cooling a call today. 574-259-9941. Your trusted, local, independent, American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
If it happens today, we're talking about it in the morning. We start at 5. Every 10 minutes on the 6s. Michiana's Morning News on News Talk 95.3 MNC.
Yeah, we had a lot of those gang members wash out pretty darn quick. Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I'm your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 57. Jeez, holy smokes. Sorry. Let's try that again. 574-2595-95.3. The cough is much better than it was, but occasionally it just says, you know what, you're going to cough whether you like it or not. If you want to send me a text message, go to 45364. Please put MNC at the beginning of that. I do want to thank R&B Car Company. Locations in South Bend and Warsaw. R&B Car Company are your used car experts. All right. So let's talk about the Mueller investigation real quick, and then I'll go into this Supreme Court thing. So we had a report earlier this week. CNN actually had it because CNN, of course, gets everything about Mueller first because they have their sources. CNN was saying that expect the Mueller report as early as next week. Done. Finished. Okay. So it was CNN. There's a part of that we're like, all right, well, you know, can we believe them? It is CNN after all. We have an additional report now that the DOJ is planning to announce as early as next week that the Mueller investigation is finished. So multiple sources are now saying next week appears to be the timeline that this thing is finished and done. Attorney General Bill Barr is preparing to announce as early as next week that the completion of the Robert Mueller Russia investigation with plans for Barr to submit to Congress soon after a summary of Mueller's confidential report, according to people familiar with the plans. Now, the summary will be given to Congress. We may not actually get to see the report for many years, okay? So there will be a summary that we will be privy to, but the actual report and everything in the report, it depends on whether or not it's released to the public. We still have yet to determine that. The regulations require Mueller to explain in his report all decisions to prosecute or not prosecute matters under scrutiny. Barr would also need to inform Congress if the Justice Department prevented the special counsel team from pursuing any investigative steps. Mueller and his prosecutors are still reporting to work as frequently as ever, with some even coming in on recent snow days and President's Day. But also visiting them more often than ever before are the prosecutors from the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office and others in the Justice Department who have worked on the Mueller cases. So we've got multiple sources now that say next week could be the week that this whole thing kind of wraps up. Now, whether or not that's the case, we don't know, but it's not just one source now that is saying that. Now, with that said, I want to talk about it. I posted about this today on my website at theburningtruth.us. There is new information about the Hillary Clinton emails that has come out. Now, we have heard this before, but this is like confirmation of rumor mill stuff, okay? The top FBI lawyer at the time wanted Hillary Clinton charged with a crime. Now, that was James Baker. Of course, we've known for some time that James Baker felt that Hillary Clinton broke the law because she did. Former FBI General Counsel James Baker thought then candidate Hillary Clinton should face criminal charges for her use of a private email server, but was talked out of it, quote, pretty late in the process. Interesting. The news came out just now as Baker's testimony to the House investigators in 2018 was provided to award-winning investigative journalist John Solomon. Now, John Solomon writes for The Hill. He's really good at his job. Solomon was given a preview of Baker's testimony, which has yet to be publicly released. For years, Solomon wrote the FBI claimed the Bureau was in agreement that Clinton shouldn't face charges. We know that that wasn't true from other emails. But Baker's testimony shows that that was not the case, at least not until just before ex-FBI Director James Comey made his July 5th, 2016 announcement not to charge Clinton on the basis that she didn't intend to violate the law, even though intention is not a part of the law, okay? We all know that your intent doesn't matter. It's whether or not you broke the law. Solomon wrote that Representative John Ratcliffe, Republican of Texas, asked Baker about his initial belief that Clinton be charged. Quote, I have reason to believe that you originally believed that it was appropriate to charge Hillary Clinton with regard to violations of law, various laws, with regard to mishandling of classified information. Is that accurate? Ratcliffe asked. Baker said simply yes. Later in his testimony, according to Solomon, Baker explained how he ended up coming to agree that Clinton should not face charges. So I had that belief initially after reviewing, a large binder of her emails that had classified information in them. So Baker is, again, testifying before Congress admitting that Hillary Clinton had classified information in her emails, which she has always denied. And I discussed it internally with a number of different folks and eventually became persuaded that charging her was not appropriate because we could not establish beyond a reasonable doubt that we, the government, could not establish beyond a reasonable doubt that she had the intent necessary to violate the law. You have the lead FBI attorney still saying we didn't know if we could prove that she intended to break the law or not. Now, first of all, we have emails between her and her team on how to circumvent the system to get classified documents off of the secure system and onto her server. So we've got proof that that's not the case. We have proof that she, without a doubt, conspired to get classified information onto her server in her email in violation of the Records Act. Okay, so we know that. But you still have the top lawyer for the FBI now saying, yeah, I was persuaded eventually that, she didn't intend to break the law. So you remember what James Comey said about Hillary Clinton, right? She was not sophisticated enough to know she was breaking the law. That's what he said. The most qualified person to ever run for president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, is not sophisticated enough to know that she was breaking the law when, in fact, she was breaking the law. Baker responded to a question about when during the process he changed his mind. He said pretty late in the process because we were arguing about it, I think up until the end. Now, does this sound more like he was persuaded or does it sound more like somebody convinced him via other means? If this is a guy who says she needs to be charged and they're fighting about it until the end, he's admitting to all of this, they're fighting about it until the end, and then all of a sudden, right before the end of this whole thing, he's finally persuaded not to recommend charges. Does that sound suspicious to anybody else? Because it sounds suspicious to me. Especially since we know for a fact she violated the Records Act. And then she lied about it afterwards, which is an additional crime. And she destroyed evidence, which is an additional crime. It's all not in dispute. That's the thing. So we had suspicion of this. Now we have confirmation of this because of John Solomon at the Hill. But this has not been publicly made available yet. It will be in the near future. MNC News Time is 5:31. Time to check out Masters Heating and Air Conditioning online at mastersheatcool.com. Masters gets there faster.
This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. Michiana's news channel.
That's it, Roland.
The 95.3 MNC app.
Well, let's not forget, she missed the briefing on handling classified information because she had a head injury. And so she sent her team there instead. So she never actually attended the training on how to handle classified information, which of course she had when she was in the Senate, and it really doesn't mean anything, but that's what she's saying.
The Board of Public Safety also accepted the resignation of Christopher Hauser. The South Bend Tribune reports that back in December, Police Chief Scott Ruskowski recommended that Hauser be fired for violating multiple department policies. And South Bend's mayor is on the New York Times bestsellers list. Shortest Way Home, the new book by Pete Buttigieg, debuted.
Yeah, but like everybody's on the New York Times bestsellers list now.
Recently, and it's of course.
It's not a big of an achievement.
All right, so and here's the thing, right? So for the past 2 weeks, our media has been pushing, oh, he's getting close to being on the bestseller list. He's not quite there, but he's getting close. Please go buy his book so he gets there. And then all of a sudden, oh, hey, he's on the bestseller list. Hey. His life story or some shit. Well, he
must be really interesting.
He published that book, and then that's where South Bend is one of the worst cities to live in came out, and that's when he lost his shit. Lost his mind.
Concerns raised about a Republican operative.
Fox's Jared Halpert in Washington. A gag order issued against Roger Stone in his criminal case after the law.
Hey, man, you're preaching to the choir, Warren. Preaching to the choir, buddy.
The crosshairs of a gun. Peter's work of the 60s popular The Monkey has died.
Everybody forgets the head injury. Remember, she fell and she hit her head and she disappeared for a while. Nobody saw or heard from her. And we ended up finding out that she had a brain aneurysm, and she had a head injury, and that's why she didn't. That's why she says she didn't go to the classified document briefing. Sent her staff instead. Okie dokie.
Temperatures near 40, a little breezy. The wind will calm overnight and temperatures cool towards 20. Friday, another fair day. Mostly sunny with a high of 42. Rain returns on Saturday and Sunday looks windy.
Damn right.
AC57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist.
That corn is whore. I mean, whore is corn. What? Corn.
Unmatched style of Temper Grill. Seating is limited. Call or visit tempergranger.com today.
When we say food with attitude,
Online content's unrated.
we mean it is the finest American-style tapas food in Michiana. Surrounded by a craft beer, fine wine, champagne, and dessert list that is as unique and seasonal as our menu. At Temper Grill, Chef Sean works with the finest ingredients to deliver you an unmatched dining experience that changes every week to fit the time of the year and his mood, while always satisfying your taste buds. Tuesday nights for half-price wine bottles, Wednesday for $2 beer night. Visit Thursdays to check out Roman's Ridiculous List, or upgrade your evenings Tuesdays through Saturdays with the atmosphere of Temper Grill, with a perfect backdrop for any occasion. Reservations required, 21 and up. Explore our menu, buy gift or make a simple dinner reservation at tempergranger.com. Unplug and relax with a truly unforgettable dining experience. Because life is too short and the food is too good to break bread in a bad mood. Temper Grill, food with attitude.
From the Fox Business Network on Wall Street, the major averages ending in the red on weak economic data, which is raising growth concerns among investors. With the Dow closing down 104 points, the Nasdaq down 29, snapping an 8-session winning streak. The S&P 500 down 10, and Roku is higher in the extended session after the video streaming company posted better than expected sales results for its fourth quarter and delivered a full-year outlook that came in ahead of projection. And during an investors meeting today, Verizon
Speed,
announced that it's planning on
your
rolling
first
out the
mistake
5G
was using the Wish app.
network in more than 30 cities this year. However, its CEO did
You can get stuff for cheap, but it's never good quality and it's never what you pay for.
All right, so I did one order with Wish. Figured, all right, I'm just going to check this out, see what happened. Half of my stuff got here. The other half didn't, and had to get refunded. Yeah. So.
I bought a watch from them once.
I did a review on the free watch for just signing up with the app.
Yeah, that's the watch.
Is that the one? Did you notice that like all of your extra stuff on there, all your extra, their stickers?
And apparel programs that convey the right image.
It's hysterical.
Fire protection equipment. Deliver and
So
stock.
I did a
This is a nice watch that I was wearing, like a week later it was dead.
I did a
Well, this
YouTube
was
unboxing.
useless.
Yeah. It came with like a cut in the band. Not a tear, a cut.
Get ready for the workday.
Winter is the worst for your vehicle. While you're warm and toasty driving down the road, the salt, sludge, and snow is covering your car, building up ice blocks in your wheel well. Don't make winter any worse than it is. Make regular visits to one of the finest exterior auto washes in Parkwood Auto Spa, located in South Bend, just east of Ironwood on Ireland Road, and Mishawaka off Edison Road. Open 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. 7 days a week. And this winter season is a perfect time to take advantage. Big savings are available with unlimited monthly car wash packages starting at just $15.95. Visit one of their locations or go to parkwoodautospot.com for more details. And don't forget to download their new app with new and exciting things coming throughout the year. Keep your car happy and clean this winter with Parkwood Auto Spa's unlimited monthly car wash packages starting at
Honey's cool.
$15.95.
I bring that up because Jess brings up the pond.
Parkwoodautospot.com for more details.
Yeah, Honey works.
Like I think the same thing.
Talk radio that
What
talks
Honey
to you,
does.
not at you.
Honey's pretty cool. I like it.
95.3 Michiana's news channel.
Does its job.
Casey Hendrickson.
Gotta love B-Bile. It's a Thursday. What do you want? Hey, good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number 574-25-95-95.3. That is 2595-953. The Guns and Everything Outdoor Spring Show brought to you by Trap and Fool and Second Amendment Arms and Range. is happening on Saturday, March 2nd and Sunday, March 3rd, 9 a.m. on both days at the Crown Event Center in New Carlisle. Admission's $5. Kids under 12 are free. There are door prizes and giveaways. Vendor booth space is available if you want to sell some stuff. Go to secondamendmentarms.net for more information. I'm going to take you back in time, okay? And you may not remember, the state of Indiana has a case in front of the Supreme Court. Well, the ruling finally came down, but I want to take you back to the oral arguments because it was one of the most laughable things that I had ever heard in my entire life, okay? So Tyson Timms suffered a minor injury at work. He was then prescribed hydrocodone, okay? He had pain, prescribed hydrocodone. He got hooked. He then graduated to heroin. He then graduated to selling heroin. So cops in Indiana nabbed him for selling $400 worth of heroin. He received no jail time, but his $40,000 Land Rover was confiscated on grounds that he had driven it to the scene of the drug sale where he was pinched, okay? So because he drove the Land Rover to the scene of his drug sale, Indiana said, we have a right to take your $40,000 car. There's a problem with that. There's a maximum of $10,000 that Indiana can seize. So a $40,000 car versus a $10,000 maximum is what you would call excessive, right? That was the case. So Justice Breyer had, I think, the most laughable, and I mean in a good way, he had the best exchange with the Indiana SG. So Breyer says, in a hypothetical, what is to happen if a state needing revenue says anyone who speeds has to forfeit the Bugatti, Mercedes, or a special Ferrari, or even a jalopy? Indiana's case, okay, this is what the SG said in oral arguments in the Supreme Court. He said there would be no constitutional problem with a state law authorizing such seizures, okay? So what you had is you had the state of Indiana walk into the Supreme Court and say, if somebody speeds, we have a right to take your car from you and sell it via civil asset forfeiture. Which, of course, is ludicrous. Everybody knows it's ludicrous, but the Supreme Court got him to admit that. Now, Gorsuch had just gotten on the bench, okay? So when we were talking about, I went into much more detail with all this. I read it verbatim because it was so laughable. And I think I talked about it for an hour. It was a great exchange. But Gorsuch, he had just gotten to the court, and Gorsuch had actually told the Solicitor General from Indiana that the excessive fines clause, if he kept arguing the merits of this, he was going to lose. And he still continued to argue the merits of it. Sotomayor joined Breyer and Gorsuch, and they were just lampooning Fisher like you wouldn't believe. I mean, it was hysterical stuff. But at the end of the day, the government of the state of Indiana, and basically this is, again, this is over civil asset forfeiture, which is law enforcement taking your property. But the Indiana Solicitor General said that the excessive fines clause does not apply to the states. See, there's an excessive fines clause in the federal government and federal law, and Indiana say, well, that doesn't apply to the states. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The states don't have a right to violate that with their own laws. And so that's where Breyer was like, so theoretically, what you're telling me is that if somebody speeds and you want revenue, you can just steal their car from them and sell it. And he goes, yeah, totally. We can do that. So if somebody speeds, we have a right to steal their car from them, and they don't have to get their vehicle back. That was what Indiana argued in the Supreme Court, okay? There. Now you're all caught up. That happened, God, when did that happen? November of last year, okay? So they have finally ruled on the case. And again, they were warned, if you keep arguing the way that you're arguing, you're going to lose, right? Remember the oral arguments in this case, they went so badly for the state of Indiana that court watchers took to predicting a lopsided defeat afterwards, something they normally refrain from doing. It's the justice's job to be skeptical during questioning. After all, you can't read too much into when they're hard on one side usually. Okay, basically what he's trying to say, terrible writing there by Ala Pundit, but basically is if you have judges that are being difficult with one side in a Supreme Court case, don't read too much into it because that's their job, right? But they were right. This was an unholy whooping, 9-0. Indiana lost 9-0. Okay? By the way, bravo, Supreme Court. 9-0. How dare the state of Indiana walk into the Supreme Court and say, we have a right to steal your property if you speed? No, you do not. That is totally unconstitutional. You should be ashamed of yourselves for even making that claim. So anyway, 9-0 decisions are not unusual for the court, but it's a bit unusual to have everyone on one side for a landmark constitutional ruling, finding that the excessive fines clause of the 8th Amendment applies to the states via the 14th Amendment. Indiana had said the 8th Amendment and the 14th Amendment don't apply to the state of Indiana, which, of course, is stupid. And Gorsuch is sitting there. He's new on the bench. You know, he's like, this is the first case I get. Gorsuch is new on the bench. He's like, is the state of Indiana really arguing that constitutional amendments don't apply to the state of Indiana? Yes, that's exactly what they did. Basically, Indiana said, we can do whatever the heck we want. No, you cannot. Okay, you can't. The biggest point of disagreement between the justices, in fact, was a law nerd dispute over whether the due process clause or the privileges or immunities clause, which has been a dead letter in constitutional jurisprudence since the late 19th century, is the provision that grants citizens protection from excessive fines levied by their state government. So basically, all of the justices agreed that the state of Indiana was being stupid. They just disagreed about which portion of the law would apply best to the citizens of Indiana. So that's the only thing the justices were fighting about. They were simply arguing over, no, we need to protect the citizens of Indiana with this constitutional provision. No, we need to protect them with this constitutional provision. Meanwhile, Indiana's just sitting there like, yeah, we got smoked. And they did. They got smoked. It was one of the dumbest cases I think I've ever heard of or seen in the Supreme Court. And the fact that Indiana actually walked in there and made the claim that the 8th and the 14th Amendment don't apply to the state of Indiana and that they could steal somebody's car from them if you needed revenue with a local municipality, if they were speeding and that was it. That's a special kind of dumb. These are the people that are trying to keep you from vaping. Just so you know, they're the same people that opposed you from having a beer on Sunday. Got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Michiana's news channel is everywhere. Choose on Facebook and on Twitter at 95.3 MNC. Casey Hendrickson.
News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.
Your breaking news and weather station.
Well, that was it. Like the Supreme Court was trying to help him out, Happy. They're trying to say, look, the way that you're arguing this, you're going to lose. You better come up with something else. And he didn't. He just kept, no, we have the right. No, yep, this is our right. Yep, we can totally do this.
Does that mean RGB was involved in that?
Yeah, she's back. Yeah, she's back.
Sunshine on Friday with a high of
She actually wrote the opinion.
Get your errands done because Saturday and Sunday aren't pretty. Saturday a high of 48 that comes towards the end of the day.
I mean, it was one of the most hysterical I have ever heard.
Sunday temperatures will crash.
Like I've read some dumb legal arguments just from like transcripts and stuff, but this is like, it takes the cake. It's a special kind of stupid.
Cold with a chance of snow showers by Tuesday of next week with a high of 34. In the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs.
95.3 MNC weather text.
Yeah, Gorsuch actually told him, if you keep arguing this, you're going to lose. If you argue this way, then you're going to lose hard. The guy just like, oh, no, we got a right to not adhere to the 8th and the 14th. That we're good. Now, the cynic in me wants to just make fun of Fisher, who is the SG, but there's the conspiratorial tinfoil hat me, who's like, he sabotaged this because he knows it's a stupid thing for the state of Indiana to be fighting anyway. So there's part of me that wants to sit down and have a beer with Fisher and go, you like didn't agree with this case and that's why you sabotaged it, right? And I hope to God he says yes, because holy smokes.
So I'll ask you again, if your car smells nice, does it look nice? Your car, you are ready for professional detailing, so you can get the details right, like anniversaries and birthdays, and you will owe it all to a shiny, great-looking, nice-smelling car. You have detailed and Z-glossed from Z-Bart of South Bend. You can tell the world that driving a great-smelling, clean car has gotten you things like power and money, and how other things in your life are.
Let's see, where are we at? We got like 200 votes on the should we ban energy drinks thing. 156 no, 41 people hate freedom and liberty. There you go.
Camping and RV show will be held at the Michiana Event Center February 22nd through the 24th. Shop hundreds of RVs from the best RV manufacturers at factory direct pricing. Find the best deals on RVs, travel trailers.
I don't think that my cover video has been set on with volume on for a long time, but now it just defaults to it.
February 22nd and 23rd from 10 until 8, and Sunday, February 24th from 11 until 5. Manufacturer representatives will be working with dealers such as Wana RV, Richards RV Sales, Extreme RV, D. Showalter RV, Goshen RV Center, and Park Model Connection will get you the best deals. Check out many vendors selling camping supplies, campground packages, RV parts, aftermarket upgrades, and more. It's the Michiana Camping.
Hey, an hour ago, somebody told me about an accident on Douglas that I didn't see.
22nd through the 24th. Go online to MichianaEvents.com for more information.
So,
Hi, I'm Dwayne Miller with Good Faith Management.
be on the lookout for that.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast and for a fair price, call me at 574-621-3277. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in
Yep,
condition.
exactly, Roland. So I saw an article today that people are seeing similarities with the RFRA embarrassment to the current bias law amendment. You know what's interesting? If Jussie Smollett had done what he did in the state of Indiana, and Indiana's current bias law that's being debated were a law, Jussie Smollett could be charged with a hate crime. But if the bias law was written as they wanted it to pass to begin with, he couldn't have been charged with a hate crime. The person who attacked the Turning Point USA kid on campus yesterday could have been charged with a hate crime under the Indiana law, but not under a standard hate crimes law.
Hi, this is Dr. Roger Pacino. I know.
Oh, a new energy drink for me to try on Discord, huh? Uh-oh.
You've been wanting to do something.
Oh, boy.
But you have lots of questions and no dental insurance. At Afghan, we're here to listen and
This
provide
sounds
the right
bad.
solution to meet your needs. Whether that's getting you out of pain, improving your appearance, or improving your overall dental health. No insurance, no problem. You don't have to have dental insurance to get great care from Afghan. We have easy payment plans to fit almost any budget, including 0% APR for those who qualify, and in-house financing for those with less than perfect credit.
Is it in general or live chat?
It's in
Oh, is it taste test?
Visit us on the web at afghan.com.
Funny.
On Douglas Road.
Funny. I do have to find the Vagipop thing. Because that was a real product. I'm not making that up.
Truly truckload. Thursday through Sunday. Save on items like chicken leg quarters in a 10-pound bag, 49 cents a pound. Lean whole pork butts is $1.29 a pound. 80% lean ground beef is $1.99 a pound in a 10-pound tube. Frozen pollock fillets are $6.99 for a 4-pound bag. Limits and card may apply. More meat and seafood to choose than we can list here. Thursday through Sunday only. It's the
All I'm seeing is the shaped ones, and I'm going to get in trouble with work.
We're your home for the Sean Hannity Show. Weeknight 6 to
Yeah.
9, exclusively
Yeah, that meth story is very sad.
Michiana's News Channel. Your breaking news and weather.
The only updates I have on Venezuela is they closed off the Brazilian border today. And good afternoon. Thank you for tuning in. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel. I am your host, Casey Hendrickson. Phone number to join us, 574-2595-95.3. Got to tell you about Corehorn Financial Group. So, you're looking for somebody to do your taxes right now, right? You should be. If you're looking at having the software do it or you're going to do it yourself, don't. Especially since the law has changed and everything is different now. You need a professional. I can't count how many times I have been in the room with the guys from Wise Money and they have talked about all of the corrections that they have made over the software. Because the software, in case you didn't know this, the software that you go out there and you buy, that is skewed to benefit the IRS. This has been documented for many, many years. So if you have a professional on there who knows the tax law and knows how to best handle your taxes, you maximize your refund, or if you're going to owe, depending on your situation, to owe the least amount that you would owe. And that is where a tax professional really benefits you. And the folks over at Core Financial Group are the best that I have ever used for my business and my personal taxes. I highly, highly recommend it. They've been doing my taxes for years now, and it has been an amazing experience. So go to corehorn.com. That's KORHORN.com. Make an appointment. Go in and talk to them. Talk to them about their other services as well, and let them know that I sent you over there. All right, what do we have here? I'm falling apart here, Joe. Falling apart. Sneezing. I'm coughing. It's a thing. Houston police. There's an officer who has been accused of lying, which led to a police raid that was a no-knock raid. I think most of you know how I feel about no-knock raids. I am very opposed to them. I understand why law enforcement likes them, but I think that there's just too much negative blowback publicity. I think it damages relations with the community. I don't like them, okay? Especially in situations like this. So Houston police, an officer is accused of lying about a undercover buyer buying drugs from this house. So they went in, they did a no-knock raid in this house. Well, the people in the house end up getting in a shootout with officers. The married couple were killed. 4 officers, I think, were wounded. Yeah, 4 police officers were shot and injured. It was revealed that an affidavit to justify the warrant appears to contain, quote, some material untruths or lies, according to the police chief, Art Acevedo. He said that an officer will likely be criminally charged in the case. Okay, so this is the police chief speaking. So what ended up happening is they did the no-knock raid. They went in, they killed the dogs. Then they started getting into a shootout with the family. And then at that point, the family's fighting for their lives. Cops are not. They're fighting for their lives. Okay. And now we know that all of this happened because a police officer lied on the affidavit, and they served a warrant on the wrong house. So Dennis Tuttle, 59, and Regina Nichols, 58, were killed after police served a warrant and they were fired upon. Let's see. The family was murdered, says Eileen De Los Santos, a longtime friend of those killed in the raid. Said that during a meeting, according to the station, which is KPRC, it's an NBC affiliate, I would like for someone to use the word murdered because they were murdered. The Harris County District Attorney's Office has said that it is investigating every aspect of the incident. District Attorney Kim Ogg confirmed all of this Monday. What charge is going to be presented will be based on the evidence, and the evidence is still being collected. Now, last week, a local station obtained police documents to say the warrant was justified by a claim that a confidential informant purchased heroin at the home that was raided and that a weapon was observed there, but investigators have been unable to find that informant. Something else that they found is that one of the officers that was there had several small baggies of drugs in his car. So they also believe that he intended to plant drugs at the house to justify the warrant. So we don't know exactly what's going on here, but there's an officer who got 2 innocent people murdered. I am immediately reminded of a raid that happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota in 2008. You have heard me talk about this case many times on the show. Families upstairs. They're watching a movie. It's family movie night, right? All of a sudden, their door gets kicked in. They think it's bad guys. They grab their guns. A shootout occurs. Nobody miraculously is hurt. The SWAT team went to the wrong house, did not identify themselves, engaged in a gun battle with the homeowners. And a couple of months later, the chief of police awarded the SWAT officers with medals for bravery under fire. Yeah. So when things like this happen, it's not okay. So we'll continue to follow this case because some officer is going to be in big trouble. Hannity is coming up next. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you tomorrow on Newstalk 95.3, Michiana's News Channel.
Hello, I'm Les Anderson.
Owner of Signs of the Times. We're a full-service sign company. We've been in business now going on 14 years. We have 2 stores located in Elkhart.
Yep, came in, shot the dogs. At that point, the family is family's in self-defense mode.
That our business has grown, and when we give you something on a proof, and then when you see it on your vehicle, it stands out. It's not just here's a vehicle wrap; it's a notch above. When you walk into our door, when you engage with anybody on our staff, realize that you're dealing with true professionals, and they absolutely love what they do and they want.
But you do have the chief of police today saying, yeah, the affidavit had some lies in it.
I want a $25 t-shirt to feel like you're my $10,000 customer. It doesn't really matter. I honestly believe one of the most important things in business is taking care of people.
So now they need to figure out if there's some personal connection between the officer who wrote up the affidavit and this family, because it also seems like he was there to plant evidence. So there might be some personal connection here, and he wanted them dead. Well, I mean, look, anybody, this is why I supported Indiana's law that you can kill anybody who comes in your home, even if they're law enforcement, if they come in illegally. If somebody comes in shooting, you don't care what uniform they're wearing, you're defending yourselves. And that's what they did.
District Court Judge Amy Berman Jackson modified the terms of a gag order after Stone posted a picture of the judge on Instagram with what appeared to be crosshairs. Stone apologized in court, calling the post an inexcusable mistake.
Yeah, I think we're going to learn an awful lot about this case.
Stone was charged by Special Counsel Robert Mueller with lying to Congress and witness tampering stemming from conversations with WikiLeaks during the 2016 campaign. Lisa.
Jared, a Coast Guard officer who prosecutors say is a white nationalist and had a hit list, makes a court appearance. Fox News Colonel Scott with this live.
Lisa, Lieutenant Christopher Hansen.
Uh-oh. What did you do, Amber?
U.S. Attorney Robert Herr said the evidence they presented so far confirms the potential risk.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Of the weapons that were recovered from Mr. Hassan's residence in this case, coupled with the sweeping nature of his writings, appear to reflect a very significant threat.
As for the alleged hit list, Hassan's defense says there's no proof the prominent Democrats and journalists included were targets. Prosecutors have been given 2 weeks to prove they were intended victims of domestic charges in private.
This lime piece of trash has been sitting here for So some listener sent me a picture of a lime bike that has been sitting in, it's across the street from the mail distribution center, and it has been there for a month and a half, he says. Now, at least it's standing up. So at least the bike is standing up. In fact, that's how I'm going to respond.
34 million Americans smoke. That's about 1 in 7 people.
At least it's standing up.
Juul was designed by smokers for smokers to be a
Oy
satisfying
vey.
alternative to cigarettes. Juul is a vapor product that contains nicotine for a satisfying transition.
All right.
One of the 34 million
Hey, last minute comments, questions before I bounce out of here.
Make the switch at Juul.com. That's JUUL.com. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
There's nothing small about your business.
I don't know. Maybe my
Hours,
is this
it's all huge. Your partnerships even bigger. With
my
Dell
chat
Services
might have already
technology advisors,
deauthorized. Hold
you'll
on.
get tech, advice, and one-on-one partnership to help your business grow. That's with reliable Dell PCs with Intel Core processors. You can focus on what matters most.
Well, if it didn't, I just did it. So
Call 877-BUY-DELL to speak with an advisor today.
it didn't seem like anybody was typing.
His last undecided congressional race gets a do-over. This happened in North Carolina, where Republican candidate Mark Harris, admitting his lead, was
All
tainted
right.
by evidence of ballot tampering.
So the 2-comment rule. By the way, David, your knife. I've been testing it for the past couple of days. The 2-comment rule is I'll generally not comment more than 2 times on anything. So if there's some discussion happening, you know, I'll have a comment and I'll have another comment. I generally won't go back. So it's up to 2 comments. I don't generally comment more than that. Occasionally it'll happen, but pretty much I have a 2 comment rule, so that way I don't get bogged down with people's petty arguing about stuff.
It's day 1 of yet another teachers' strike. This one in Oakland, California, where they're fighting for higher pay and smaller class size. The district superintendent says they agree. Teachers do deserve
The first night you found one in the East race? The first night, huh? Thanks, Roland.
You're playing music.
I'm playing music? It's that Facebook stuff again. It's my cover video. Yeah, I just got bogged down in stuff, and then so I had a knife to take care of and some holsters to take care of. So I put it all together last night, and then I let the thread lock dry, and I have to go home and test it, make sure it still works properly.
He rose to fame as the lovably clueless bass player.
So if it's good to go, it'll go out probably tomorrow.
A rare form of cancer. He left the group in 1968 after creative differences, but would rejoin every few years for reunion tours.
Roland, you still off of Facebook? You still doing your Facebook protest?
This is Fox News.
Weather powered by Ultratech Windows for over 22 years, offering the highest quality windows and siding to all of Michiana. Call today for a free estimate, 800-431-8755.
I know you wanted to get a hold of me, so somebody had said something the other day. You had left, and somebody was like, Roland was asking if you still had his number. I don't think I do because I have a new phone, and I think I had your number in the old phone and not everything transferred. So what's the best way of getting a hold of you?
First Warning Neighborhood Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs.
Right now, it's 35 degrees.
95.3 MNC is your official school delays and closings radio station, with updates at least every 15 minutes on air on those brutal winter mornings. Plus, the list is updated instantly online at 953mnc.com. Powered by First Response Disaster Restoration Specialists.
Thanks, David. I like it too.
Weather hits, turn to us and stay connected. Weather, traffic, school delays.
We had like half of our batches were perfect, and like the other half, like the holes were not drilled right. So sometimes there's little issues with the holes, and then we got to fix it. It's usually a really easy fix, but there you go, Michael. I mean, I can show you mine. This is the Spectre. I mean, this is an old beat up Spectre, but that's it. It's the only automatic knife with a G10 frame. There's no aluminum on there. That is G10. So the handle scales and everything, it's all G10. I got people asking about the SPKTs now too, because I haven't been able to make them because of the cold. Yeah, I do. In fact, I sent an inquiry to the place that I have cut my blanks for me today. So I need I need a couple of things, but mostly I need handles for stuff. So that's kind of where I'm at. Thank you, David. I just need to figure out how to get a hold of you, Roland. That's it. Are you on Discord or no? For truck driving, honestly, I really like Best Tech. So Best Tech knives, they are manual flippers, so they're 50 state legal. And they are, so I had, in my head, the flippers that I want to make, then Best Tech came out, and I was like, holy crap, that's exactly what I wanted to do. And it's at the price point that I would want to do it. It uses the materials that I like. And so I ordered a couple of them, and I fell in love with them, man. They're just great knives. So when I do my flippers in the next year or two, like, the Best Tech's already doing stuff that I like doing. So it's going to be very, very similar to their stuff. I've got one Best Tech in stock right now, and it's awesome. It's very cool. Oh, you did? Did you send me a message on Discord?
It's also in the chat. Roland42 at Gmail.
Okay, so here, let me just hop into Gmail right now.
It just got marked because it's an email.
Okay, well, if I just send him an email right now, then we won't have to worry about it. How about that?
ROLLIN 42 at Gmail.
It's all right. We all thought he was Roland for like 2 years. He's like, no, Roland. Like, I'm rolling down the road. Oh, gotcha. All right. Let me get in here. Hold up.
I'll be back. But I need to hurry up so I can go to my...
Hey, you can go. It's cool.
I have like an hour. I'm just saying, like, I need probably like 6:45 so I can do sound check and stuff.
Okay, I'm just going to send him... All right, what's his email again?
Rollin42 at Gmail.
So, ROLLIN 42 at gmail.com.
Yep.
All right, I'm sending you an email right now, Roland. There you go, buddy. I just sent it. Just sent it. I would like to be a dealer for Black Rifle, Michael, but you have to have a brick and mortar store. So I can't do it. I looked into it, can't, just because of that. I am looking at doing some different stuff this year, though. And I think I really want to focus on Cobra Tech automatics, Paragon automatics, because those are always popular. I mean, Paragon has the Phoenix and the Warlock too. Best Tech, and I'm going to look at some of the Ready Man stuff. Cool. All right. I'm going to bounce out of here, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. And hey, I mean, knife holster questions and stuff like that, I've got a Discord channel for that. So you can go to Discord and you can go ahead and hit me up there too. And you don't have to worry about it, because I don't see all of the chats when I'm doing the show. Like, it scrolls so fast, I miss a lot of it. All right, buddy. I will, don't expect a call tonight, but maybe tomorrow or over the weekend, okay? All right, everybody, I got to roll. I appreciate it. You take care. Be safe.